Oh, just in time.
You buy Truck Assist, hard-working truck and equipment cover, built for tradies by the experts.
Hey, how are you? Sorry if I'm looking frazzled. I just at the last second got the stream up. Just trying to get all the bits and pieces organised. We're on bloody Josh Smillie watch. Now let me pop that out so I can at least have it in front of me. There we go. Game's about to start. Big Kalina in the ruck, Smillie in the middle, McAuliffe in the middle. Hopefully we can see a bit of a better game than last time, because that honestly, that Casey Fields game was not good. And yep, I've gone for the Freo scoreboard again for Box Hill. But you know, sometimes we don't always have time in our hands to update the graphics. Nah, I haven't got the Box Hill logo. I didn't have time to readjust the graphics. I will just go for the Freo one for the moment. Oh, nice little lead up there by Bauer. OJ just driving to the game. Nice. Enjoy the drive to beautiful Frankston. Yeah, I saw her on 7, mate. That's good. Is that Jasper Elga? Oh, Jasper, if you don't mind, with the first goal of the game, because I'm just making a quick wardrobe change. Very good from Jasper. This is why I want him in the team. That was very, very good. Snap around the body. First goal of the game for the Tigers. Looking a lot sharper than what we were last week, for those who were unfortunate enough to witness that. Very good start. Don't mind that Guernsey. The old black number.
The Tigers strike first in the battle of the Jaspers. We see on the Truck Assist replay, Todd, the value again.
Gee, it's a bad drop mark, isn't it, from the Hawks defender there? And Jasper just wheels around and does the rest. Very good. I'm telling you, he's going to see some AFL time soon, I reckon, as we're back into the middle. Kalina in the ruck. The big man. I've got a little bit of high hopes. Grey Stroke, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, I was doing the reverse. I was getting dressed. Riley, how are you? What's going on? Jasper again with another possession. Juddy Clark. Forgot about Juddy Clark out there. Left foot entry. Oh, Bauer picks it up. Flying shot at goal. It is one behind. Only tell you what, Grace. So we won't have too many people signing up to the OnlyFans, I can assure you. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Michaels would sign up for that, to be honest. Wouldn't be great viewing, I wouldn't have thought. Good start, though. The intent's a lot better from the Tigers tonight. Good spoil by Smith. Oh, jeez. Working it around by hands. OJ, no, I appreciate it. Hopefully you can get in all okay, mate, at the game. Cozzy just chipping it around. He's flying. Oh, force it, leaps, but nothing of it. Surprised that wasn't a free kick. Oh, Smillie. No, just misses the tackle. No, I'm on the AFL website stream. Kel Shadir. What's he doing playing VFL? Well, thank you for subscribing, Riley. Much appreciated. You go for the Sanford Eagles. Oh, I see you go for the Woodville West Torrens Eagles. That's where Jack Lees plays. Do you watch the under-18s? He does some good work. He's a future father-son for us. Number 6 for Woodville. Melanie, we're playing... it's actually a good question. I actually don't know. I thought I knew the answer because I thought it was our home game, but it's not. It's Box Hills. I don't know. I wonder if Box Hill have any redevelopments going on themselves potentially. I guess they're They're having Dingley built at the moment, which looks like an amazing facility. Oh, he's back from an eye? Okay, fair enough. Because he's a gun. I love watching him play. The way he takes the ball at the highest point, he'll be back in their AFL side very, very soon, I dare say, especially with no Mitch Lewis. He and Chol are actually a really good combination. So yeah, apologies if I'm about 30 seconds behind. I'm watching it on the AFL website Watch Now, not on TV. So I don't have a functioning TV out here. Even though the one that was in my background previously had our logo up, it's not aerial connected. It was just for my PlayStation. McCarthy playing tonight. Not sure. What number is McCarthy? I'll have to keep an eye out. It's an interesting one, don't argue, isn't it? Because for all intents and purposes, Razzo is the one you'd love to have, but on a needs basis from what we need in the side, I think you're right. I think it's actually McCarthy's the one we need. Oh, speaking of Razzo, Bauer receives the handball, flying shot at goal, out in the full. Good to see Big Simsy out there as well after a bit of an illness. So, Melanie, to get back to your question, I don't actually know why we're officially playing at Frankston, but I would assume that Box Hill must have something going on at their ground that doesn't allow them to play there. And they've got to reshuffle some of their home games. It's kind of like what we had to do and how our home games are going to be at Beaconsfield from now on. It's the only thing that really makes sense, I reckon. Razzo's just going to get done for holding the ball there. Oh, get him. Oh. Definitely want to see a bit more defensive pressure. I did see Carlton's game. I was watching a bit of that. Good mark. Campbell Gray. Tell you what, Campbell Gray, that's a shit kick though. Extraordinarily unlucky to be dropped. I thought he did okay in the AFL last week. He didn't do too much wrong. Yeah, the Blues game was interesting, wasn't it? They really shit the bed. Juddy Clark. For those who haven't watched this yet, do yourself a favour and go onto the club's website and watch the video of Judson Clark. Really, really good, just to give some insight into his ACL recovery and Big Hayes Brown, the snack pack. Yeah, go to the club website. Not now because you're watching the stream. I love you all here. But when you get a chance, go watch the Juddy Clark interview on the website. Really, really good, just to give insight into his recovery, the mentality behind it all, having an ACL crew. I actually had forgotten that was his second ACL. I didn't really remember that he did one earlier on in his junior career. So, yeah, really fascinating, really good story. Hayes Brown comes in. That looked like a horrible, horrible action, but he's nailed the goal nonetheless. 2 goals, 1-13. So 1 goal straight to Box Hill. No, the stats haven't uploaded yet. I refreshed about 5 minutes ago on the game because I do have it on, what do I have it on? The APS Play HQ. For some reason, Geelong College are the only school that's on this HQ app in any meaningful way where you can find results. Everything else for the APS schools is bloody impossible to find the stats, which is super annoying. But I just refreshed then. Still nothing. Still nothing. Which is annoying. Fair enough, James Racing. Richo, I've sent ones that had to be sent out. If you were one that was for a pickup, I'm at the game tomorrow. If you're keen to pick up from there. Otherwise, if it hasn't gotten to you yet, shoot us a message and I'll have a look into it because there was everything that was sent pre-Easter. I haven't seen one or heard of one that didn't make it to its destination. Shoot me a message and I will look into it for you. Because we had our second box turn up the other day, so we've been able to get the other ones going. I might have 1 or 2 I've got to drop off as well in the coming days too, so potentially if you're nearby, I can just re-drop off another one. If needed, that's no stress. Oh, scared the crap out of me. Marley, calm down. And then we've even got North Melbourne, who are just ticking all the boxes for us. It really hurt having to barrack for Essendon, but yeah, the Bombers got the job done for us. It was touch and go there. Well, Greystoke, my thinking was, and the other reason why I think Grey's unlucky is I reckon that matchup wise, I think we're one tall short up forward. When they've got Barras, Sicily, and Battle, who are all very, very good intercept markers, I just think having Lynch and Fall could leave us a little bit exposed. I would have liked Gray up there just to go and provide some more aerial presence. Or Sims gets a little dinky handball off. Hayes Brown picks it up one time. Surely he doesn't have that. Deep in our 50, the forwards are swarming. Oh, jeez, that's a great kick to put it between a couple of them. My goodness. Phonics, welcome. Watching the election. Yeah, how's it all going? How did everyone go voting today? Was there a democracy sausage where you were? Let us know if you had any luck on the democracy sausage front. We had zero luck. There was no sausage where we were. Not even drinks, nothing. Some places I've seen that people were being charged $6 for a democracy sausage, which is outrageous for a snag. I saw one school in South Melbourne, I think it was, had a full-blown menu with funny themed named foods, which was good. Oh, Razzo roves it. Oh, Razzo! Oh, what a goal. That's a great goal from Razzo. Did not expect him to grab that far be it, kick the goal. Jesus. Massimo Razzo. That is a... Marley, relax. That is a great goal. No democracy sausage. First time voting and very disappointed. Oh, yes. That is a bit flattening when there's no sausage. Grace, like you would have to have considered, I reckon, a Steely Green, or it would have had to have come down to a Steely Green or Morris Jr., to be honest, if you were to keep Campbell Gray in. Because, yeah, like, no question, Bolter had to come back in. But, yeah, they would be the only ones you could consider. And it's really hard because prior to the Melbourne game, the small forwards were doing okay. Like that Gold Coast game, they were all on, and the Melbourne game, they were all off. So it's just kind of really bad timing. So it's going to be interesting to see how we play. Like Sam Lawler might have to play tall and man up on a Sicily or a Battle, which would be interesting. As Sims gets a really nice ruck tap there. Oh, Smiley just sidesteps through traffic with a nice handball. Who's leading? Oh, the snack pack. Oh, no, it's Kalina nearly took the mark. Oh, Wilson. Oh. Oh, Sonzi, good tackle. Hasn't got it, though. That's going to be a free kick. Oh, no free. That was good. Sonzi. Smiley in the middle was good there. Blight drops what he should have probably taken. Oh, no. Smiley gets through. Quick kick inside 50. Bit of a blast kick. Good tap on. Sonzi, you just got to pick that ball up, son. Phonics, did your voting a few days early? I was busy election day, so no democracy sausage for me. Yeah, it was... every time I drove to work, I always drove past somewhere that was doing early voting, and it was always packed. Like, there was always people out the door almost for the entire week. So you kind of naturally think that, oh, well, maybe that means there'll be less people at the voting place on the day. But, yeah, I think our voting place opened at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we got there about 8:45, 9 o'clock, and we were still lined up well outside the school. It didn't go for too long. We probably lined up for about an hour and a bit, I reckon, before we got it all done. But, yeah, we were able to sort of take the kids and put them onto the playground and shit like that. Yeah, Hayes Brownleo's doing not too bad. He's got a bit of an awkward kicking action for goal, I reckon. But he does all right. Like I think we've definitely got something to work with there. Got something to work with. Carlton versus St Kilda Friday night, huge game. Yeah. Huge for who? Yeah, no, it's interesting, isn't it? I was looking at some of the draftees the other day. I was going to make a draft video, and truthfully, and I know it's early days, but none of them are really wowing me like they were last year. Like even before I cottoned onto Sam Lawler, even well before that, when I was looking at vision of like Jagger and Finn O'Sullivan, Harvey Langford and Smiley, they were players that were already wowing before I even considered Sammy Lawler. But then this year, I just don't see what I'm wanting to see. I think because now I feel like I'm watching draft footage for a needs perspective. Whereas last year we are going to have a whole shitload of picks. But right now I think we need the outside midfielder. We don't need an inside midfielder. So Sharp, for me, Sharp's kind of out of the question. Because I think he does his best work inside. His kicking's a little bit questionable for the outside. We don't really need another extractor. We've got a couple of those already. Oh, good body work there. So that Grill looks all right. He's probably the one that's showing the most promise so far. I hadn't got around to watching any of Fred Rodriguez or any new Fred Rodriguez footage, but I really liked what he was doing the last I saw. Lindsay looks okay, but he's obviously a bit more of a half back at the moment, which wouldn't be the worst. Dersma, he's probably not an outside mid. Is he more of a wing, half forward, half back? And yeah, Duff Tytler, obviously going to be a very good player, but it's like a lot of clubs will pick best available at that high up in the draft, which makes sense too. And I just don't know whether he would class as best available or whether we go for, another midfielder. Who'd everyone else want to take? Jones Racing, early voting was packed for you as well. Yeah, now, postal vote for Don't Argue. Yes, the old I'm away on holiday. Nice, well played. Do they ever question that at all? Geez, we've got him hemmed in the front half here, but we're not getting a hell of a lot of reward. Saints could just about end Pretendy season. Okay. That would be amusing. Two of Grill, Lindsay, Dersma, or CDT. Lindsay's the player wowing. Yeah, look, he does look like he uses the ball well. Even in the academy game, he looked really good too. But again, like, and I'm not trying to be harsh on him, but do you spend a high pick on a potential halfback? I know we say halfbacks are that's a miss kick that's worked. Oh, no. I know halfbacks are a position that we need to get good players in, but do you use a pick that high on someone who may just be a halfback, or do you go for a player who could be a genuine midfielder? Yeah, Kane Corns did get some calm day. I was seeing a lot of posts about, what have been about Butter? No, it was about Rosie, I think. Just in line with the whole Sheasel thing aimed at Kane Corns as we go forward. Oh, good movement there by the snack pack. Get in there, Hayes Brown. He's got 50. Oh, 50 metres. Was it 25 or 50 in the VFL? No, that's 50. That's a genuine 50. Hayes Brown gets another chance to convert a goal. That seemed a really harsh 50. Into the protected area, was he? No, that's a shit 50, honestly. He was a bit of a wide berth. He wasn't in the direct path of Hayes Brown or impacting him. That's a shit one. I don't like those. But we'll take it. Hayes Brown lining up for his second goal. Almost at the top of the goal square. Nails it. Very good, Hayes Brown. Do we think he'll see some... This kick is 50-50. Agree, Grey Stroke, agree. Do we think we'll see... will we see someone like a Hayes Brown or Kalina later in the year, do we think? Like, it'll be interesting to see if we just give him some minutes. Like, we're not playing for finals or anything like that. Will we just throw him in the deep end for a couple of games, maybe? I don't see why not. Line breaking mid and running half back. Thanks. Yeah, I'm kind of with the line breaking mid as well. That's why that Grill looks interesting. He's got okay foot skills as well. But I think from what I can gather, moving into the midfield is a very recent thing for him. He's typically been a halfback. So, oh God, there's a bad bounce. There's probably still a bit of a body of work to be seen for him. But early signs, he looks okay in the midfield. So hopefully he can keep playing well there. But again, it's just about making sure that whoever we take, that's holding the ball surely. is justified with a pick as high as what we're going to have. Tigers are pressuring really nicely tonight. Oh, Razzo, try to fend off. Was he grabbed high, though? He was grabbed high. Massimo Razzo. He was lucky, because if he didn't get that free kick, he was probably going to get pinged there. It was over the shoulder. Razzo lining up for goal number 2 in a... This is an amazing response from the team after last week. This is why, like, you just don't know how shit the conditions at Casey Fields are and how much that plays on him. As Razzo slots his second, great opening quarter here for the Tigers. Dare I say it, we're actually kicking straight, and I've missed it behind here too. How good am I going? Rosie got the exact same stats today that Corn Slam Sheezelpaw. Is that right? Same stats. Wow, that's a good way to backfire. God damn. That's very unlucky for him. Noah, we need speed in this draft. Don't mind if we don't draft a Puma because of Callaway. Yeah, exactly right. Now, I'm not at all suggesting that Callaway is top 15 bound, but he's put in a really good body of work this last month, and he's looking really, really nice. So I'm with you. I think we need the midfielder with speed with this draft. And I just don't know how many of them are available, like genuinely good mids with speed. Yeah. Again, though, truthfully, I trust Blair and Ry Geishan immensely. They've, got pretty good track records with this kind of stuff. Superfern, welcome. Got to get Razzo in the AFL team. It's a tough one, though, isn't it? Like, I think we speak about this, most weeks, but let's say hypothetically we get in Massimo Razzo in the mid-season draft, via whatever way it happens. Whose spot is he taking? Because we're currently playing Seth Campbell, Ryan Mansell, Morris Jr., and Steely Green as our small forwards, who, bar last week, the D's game where we were all pretty shit, they haven't really done a hell of a lot wrong. Like, if we pick Razzo up, is he just going to be playing VFL again, but as an AFL listed player? Or is there someone like McCarthy available who can play as a halfback and maybe actually come in and play a role for us straight away? It's a really difficult question, isn't it? Oh, he's dropped the knees there. Wow. He was falling to the ground before anyone even tackled him. Yeah, he just lowered himself. That should not be a free kick.
The drop of the knees. And McAuliffe and Smillie.
That's the exact shit that we're trying to stop. You should not be rewarding that.
The skirmish cleared. Cody Anderson must go back and kick this goal. It'd be his 4th of the season, his 5th.
Boo!
Something maybe to start the Box Hill engine.
Yeah, that's a rubbish free kick. Not happy with that at all. Battle of the haircuts. Yeah, it is. Rose would be a lot of small forwards. Yeah, that's right. We've still got Alga as well. Seth Mansell, Morris, Steely Green. Juddy Clark, yeah. Houghton, to an extent, will play that role too. Yep, agree. I think long-term Houghton will end up being a midfielder, hopefully. But I understand what you mean, though. Like, for the now, he's going to have to start off doing half forward and other bits and pieces. So, yeah, it just doesn't quite make sense. As much as I love watching Razzo play and what he does, it just doesn't make total sense to get him, does it? That free kick's pissed me off. Smiley's mini-me kicks a goal.
20 points the margin. Cody Anderson, the first-year Hawk. Their second of the evening. He's lurking there on the edge of that pack again, but
I'm gonna find the stats. Holding the ball, surely.
It was a lovely tackle from Garner. Prevented the release. This is the longest Richmond have gone without touching the ball.
Smiley just the 3 touches so far. McCarthy leading the way with 8. Sonzi 5. Jacob Kaczynski 5. Caleb Smith's going to get run down, holding the ball. Got to get rid of it sooner. Hoops, how are you, mate? Smillie really needs to get more of the touches. I know, he's only got the 3. The 3s have been okay. And Dino, to answer your question, I don't think Smiley's going to play. I mean, Smiley's definitely not playing against the Hawks. Definitely not playing that game because that's tomorrow. But I reckon that he'll debut maybe against West Coast if form permits. It's a really tricky one. Like, I don't want to apply too much pressure to the kid early, but you want to be seeing him rip up VFL games, don't you? Now, what I'm maybe thinking a little bit is it a little bit for him to adjust to his body size at AFL demands rather than his body size at Coates League demands? Maybe, there's such a big difference between the two that maybe it's a bit more trickier to get that right. But you want to see him tear up to shreds. Like, not that I want to see this, but it would be interesting to see what a Sam Lawler would do in a VFL game, for example. Like, would he just be winning ball after ball after ball versus Smiley, who's on 3 touches? Like, he'll get there. He'll 100% get there. I think there's probably an element of impatience for sure, from probably all of us, me included. But yeah, we just want to see him play, but you got to warrant the form as well. Don't argue. You know the free agent who was building on me more and more? Ed Richards. I know. The problem is I think he's about to sign like a 5 or 6 year deal for the Bulldogs. I'm pretty sure I read or heard that somewhere the other day that Ed Richards is very close to signing again for the Doggies. Otherwise, I'd be super keen on him just from that breakneck speed perspective that we desperately need. Jody Clark mops up at the back. Oh, ugly kick, but hit his target. Horrible kick. No, I know. I mean, I suppose the only way Lawler will play VFL is if he gets suspended or injured or something like that and has to come back through just for some fitness. But it would, like, for the purpose of comparison, it would be interesting to see how he would go in there compared to what Smiley's doing. Because I think it would help manage our expectation levels. Because the other thing that could be happening too is Smiley could be the type of player that maybe looks worse at VFL but plays better at AFL level with better players around him. And that's something we won't know until he plays in the AFL. But at the same time, you've got to earn that AFL spot as well, don't you? Or Smiley just tries to run through him. Force it, taking the ground. Yeah, exactly, Hoops. You'd love to see him get more of the ball. Yeah, the preseason injury no doubt would have messed with him, Noah, for sure. I mean, there was a lot of football to miss. And prior to that, he was probably one of our better, I know better trainers sounds like a bit of a nothing thing, doesn't it? But he was probably one of our better trainers. He was doing really well in all the match sims and all that kind of stuff and looking really, really good. And I still do think he's building his fitness base. Like last week he had Casey for VFL. Even though he played 4 quarters, he had a risky kick, but he's hit Kane McAuliffe. I reckon his game time was only 65, 70%. So I reckon he's got to get that game time up to 80% before he'd be considered for AFL. So it'll be interesting to see what he does tonight. Just got burnt on the outside as he heads off the ground. Oh, Sims, will it sit for him? No. He's ducked. Oh, Razzo intercepts. Too high again. Johnson snaps around the body and goals against the runner play the Tigers before the end of the quarter. Lovely goal. That is a great goal against the Tide there. JPEG, welcome. Are we thinking Smiley's playing in the forward line when he comes into the ones? Should we be playing him more forward in the twos to prepare him? I think we're better off leaving him in the midfield to help fast track his tank, just with that running capacity. I know what you mean though, and it's a good point because when he comes into the AFL, same as Lawler, he's not going to be playing 65% minutes in the midfield. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I don't know what his secondary position is going to be. Like, I don't know if we can play both Smiley and Lawler on the same half forward line. Will that be too inexperienced and too slow? Yeah, I don't know. Halfback could be an option as well, but I don't think we'll do it because, again, he doesn't really have the breakneck speed that we're probably desperately needing down there. I'm assuming what will happen is it'll be some type of 3-way rotation. I think he and Lawler will probably rotate between on the ball and half forward and the bench, is how I kind of see it playing out. I just don't, as much as I would like to see one of them at halfback for their ball use, I don't think we'll be prepared to pull the trigger. But, well, yeah. Where would everyone else play him? Oh, did I say the word, did I? Don't tell EJ. Yeah, Smillie and Lawler, I think there's a little bit in there. I reckon they might swap. Oh, that's a risky kick, but didn't come off. Smiley's been training with Taranto and Hopper. Possibly, and like I said, like he may be a player that does look better when playing with AFL players, and there are players who are like that, but I think selfishly we want to see something from him at VFL level first. Just like you'd want to see like a 25 disposal game where he really asserts himself, but I still think he's building his fitness base back up, so it may not be tonight. But having said that though, the fact we've kicked 38 points in a quarter is a pretty good sign. And I still think there's other players like Elgar stepping up as well, putting his hand up too. Smiley took one contested mark in under 18 year. Is that true though? I can't believe that. Surely not. That seems like an extraordinary stat. I always read it on Big Footy, but I never really believed it. Is it true though? Great mark, Johnson. Putting your head in the hole like that, that is not fun to do. Not that I would know, to be fair. I would never have done that in my life, I wouldn't have thought. Force it. Oh, Razzo went to the blind turn, but spent it before he had it. Bauer almost runs him down. Oh, that's a strong mark. I think so, Jones Racing. Like the moment that he does dominate one, I think he'll go straight in. Kick after the siren for the Hawks. This is a tough shot. But like I said, a dominating game doesn't have to be 35 and 4 goals. It can be 25 touches and just doing really, really well. But I'd still love to see him hit a few more targets by foot too. But yeah, it's just not, doesn't seem like it's quite working in the midfield mix for us so far in the VFL. Gee, that's a good kick. Wow. Didn't think he was going to get that. That's a great goal to get after the siren. Fair play to him. Quarter time. Not a bad start, though, from the tie. 6-2-38 to 3-1-19 out at Frankston against Box Hill. Much better start than last week, must be said. Much better start than last week. Let's have a look at some stats. I'll just filter by Richmond. I don't care about the other team. Tom McCarthy leading the way for disposals with 8 touches. Let me put it on this screen so I can actually look straight. 8 disposals, 2 clearances. Tyler Sonzi, 7 disposals, 1 clearance, 1 tackle, 2 marks. Kazitsky, 6 disposals, our third highest. Lachlan Wilson, 4 disposals. Razzo, 4 disposals, 2 of them goals, if you don't mind. McCullough, 4 disposals. Sean Lay or Lee? I think it's Lay, 4 disposals. Austin Johnson, 4. Campbell Gray, 4. Juddy Clark, 4. He's also got a clearance to his name. Bauer, 4. Smith, 3. Smiley, 3. So we want to see that output up. He's had 2 tackles, though, which is nice. He's had a mark. But, has he had a mark? No mark. Sorry. What's that stat? It's a handball. We do want to see a bigger output from Josh Smiley there, and Tom Sims and Fawcett getting some disposals as well. And Hayes Brown with 2 kicks, 2 goals. That's as good of a ratio as you'll see. Very, very good. When do we think we'll see Jasper? Yeah, I don't know. It's really difficult, isn't it? Because he's ultimately competing against Morris Jr., Seth Campbell, Ryan Mansell, and Steely Green. If we're being realistic, Seth Campbell and Ryan Mansell aren't going to get dropped anytime soon unless they have like back-to-back horrible stinkers. Even then, I'd actually be doubtful they'd get dropped if I'm being honest. Morris Jr.'s Gold Coast game was exceptional. His Melbourne game wasn't, but neither were the other small forwards. He's probably one that might find himself fluctuating in form that may warrant missing a game, and that's where Elgar could come in. Steely Green, he's been doing some okay things. Again, last week was a bit of a stinker, but he could be one that might bobble in and out of the side as well. Although I get the funny feeling that Uze really loves what Steely Green brings in terms of pressure as well, so he might not get bulk disposals, but I feel like he does some really good things on the pressure front, which maybe supersedes the touches. So by process of elimination, I'm kind of feeling like it's Morris's spot that he'd be taking. But again, Morris offers that good point of difference with speed and pressure. But you want pressure on these forwards to perform. You want someone like Elgar bashing the door down. So they got to get their shit together in the ones to make sure he doesn't steal their spot. So that's definitely not the worst thing. Yeah, that could happen, but just not sure. I'd love to see him in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think he's had a really good body of work, to be honest. Jasper Ralga. What does everyone else think? Everyone else think Jasper's had a good body of work? Like he's kicked goals most games. He gets about 12 or 13 touches. Plays tall, plays small, reads the ball really well. Yeah, I think he'll do really well playing at AFL level. So it'd be good to see him in. But yeah, I'm not sure when we'll pull the trigger on that. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. I've yet to see Smiley go straight at a pack ground ball. Just loitering. Yeah, he's kind of just hanging out the back of the packs. It's hard because some of that could be by instruction, I guess, couldn't it? Like try and get the receiving handball and then explode away from the stoppage and use his skills going forward. So maybe that's something to do with it potentially. But yeah, you want to see him just like use your size. Like he's a big unit. Just crash in and bowl a few over, get the ball out and get on with it. But looking at I'll try and find some team stats. Where are we? Team stats. 18 inside 50s already. That's a huge number. 18 to 9 in a quarter is ridiculous. Stoppages, we're getting smoked in the hit outs. Losing the clearances, 14 to 6. So we'll need to look at getting that back on even terms. You don't get as many detailed stats here, do you? 14 tackles for the game so far. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Jeez, Razzo. The other one's Kane McAuliffe as well. He's probably another one that I know we'd all want to see in the side earlier rather than later. I know he's EJ's man. I start to get a little bit worried that he might be one that may look for opportunity elsewhere if we don't get him into the side soon. And I know you got to earn it, and he was probably just about in there until he re-hurt himself with that foot or whatever was going on. But yeah, again, I just don't know who would replace because like Thompson Dow's having a career best season. Jack Ross would be one that he could maybe replace, but he has some really good games. Then he has some average games as well. Yeah, if you were to play Kane McAuliffe, guys, who would you replace him with? Who would he come in for? Keen to hear what you all think. Yeah, possibly Grey-Stroke, possibly. But I mean that in a complimentary way if he's the new George, because while George's goal kicking maybe wasn't what we would have liked it to have been, his work rate up and down the ground was phenomenal. If you watch what he did without the ball, he was extraordinary. He played tall, good leaper, good worker, good pressure, and yeah, did a lot of things that maybe didn't get stats and didn't look sexy to fans, but I know the coaches certainly appreciated what he did as well. So that's why he was probably one of the first picked every week, to be honest, old Georgie. I feel like Green hits the scoreboard a little bit better. Like he's a bit more of an accurate kick for goal. But yeah, I don't know. Green's doing okay things. I think the club really like him. James Racing on AFL 26 is Alga playing round 1. And how many of the doozies am I picking? I'll be playing all 8, I reckon. All 8. Or I might not be able to get Sims in for balance reasons. Will I play all 8? At an absolute minimum, I'd do a play now game and play the whole lot just for the first one and see how we go. Oh, coach's pet. I don't know whether coach's pet is the wording. I think he just does a lot of unselfish things that don't involve collecting stats that the coaches like. And I think it would be what most coaches would like. But at the same time, I'd still love to see Jasper getting a game at some point. Oh, Jacob Blight apparently rolled his ankle during the quarter, had it re-strapped. We'll get the timer going for this quarter as well. The second quarter is underway at Frankston. Boom. I think I timed that okay. Let's see if we can continue on the good form in the second quarter.
Nowhere to go and out. So now the psychology flips. Richmond. Box Hill are going to come out breathing fire at the start of the second.
Yeah, but the good thing about for Richmond is they don't have to change much. Their contests have been really good. Their tolls have been making a really good contest and not allowing those to intercept marks in their forward 50. So I think, you know, not much has to change for Richmond. They just got to keep doing the same thing.
Terrible throwing.
Porter,
Box Hill
some traffic.
almost get the first inside 50.
Ramsden in the middle of that contest. Free kick, high shot. It's going to come back.
Yeah, Blight doesn't look like he's limping,
The 24-year-old.
so that's a positive sign.
His old man tone and height, and these days at Dingley in 2025, although the way he's going, Dingley ain't going to see much of him.
Yeah, he'd be more likely on an AFL list than
A lot of stationary players. Oh, that's a dangerous kick in between two. Oh,
Ward, but Johnson, who's got
great mark from, is that Johnson? Between two? That's very nice.
a brilliant goal in the first quarter.
Oh, he just sat it on his head though.
Blank launched.
Blank's just taking a hanger.
Big knee.
That is not where you want to be standing when the ball's kicked in the air. That is horrible.
Leave a welt, maybe even a divot.
Tell you what, my timer is exactly in sync with the one on screen. On my screen anyway. I'm pretty happy with that. Smiley.
Smiley. High shovel.
Geez, that was borderline a throw.
Garner. McAuliffe. Receive from Smith.
Good spoil, Sims. Well done. If Harley Reid was coming to Richmond, what would I realistically give up for him? It's a good question. Honestly, so in last week's game for West Coast, Mazimo tuned in. You should be out there, mate. What are you doing? You've got to be playing. No, welcome, Mazimo. Now, Sonsy's doing okay. Your namesake's doing well too. Kicked a couple of goals from a couple of kicks. Sonsy's not shooting lights out levels, but hasn't really done anything wrong. He's got a couple of clearances. I think he's maybe fourth in our disposals. Yeah, he's not doing too bad. But in terms of Harley Reid, like I watched the West Coast game, or I watched the first half of the West Coast game last week, and he played like a genuine bum, right? Had no interest, turning it over, just really lazy, poor attitude. And I put up a tweet and a post on Big Footy saying that I'm well and truly off the Harley Reid bandwagon, wouldn't be worth 2 first rounds, let alone 3. And then he turns around in the second half and has a pretty good second half, it must be said. And his stats for the completion of the game look really, really good, and he had a good game. But I still worry about the attitude of Harley Reid. I wouldn't be giving up. I definitely wouldn't be giving up 3 first rounders. Absolutely not. I think realistically, though, it's going to require 2. But I wouldn't be, and I'm pretty confident in saying this, that even if we enter genuine trade discussions for Harley Reid, we won't be giving up 2 picks from this year. It'd be 1 from this year and 1 from either next year or 2027. I'm very confident that we want to go to the draft with at least one of these top 2 picks intact. And maybe there's a player that gets involved as well. So maybe another player can get involved, like a Jacob Blight who might want to go home to Perth. Yeah, there's a whole range of things that could happen, but I definitely wouldn't be giving up 3 picks for him. I think West Coast will starting point ask for 3, but it just seems like it's way too much as the ball's bobbling around in our forward line. What does everyone else think is realistic to give up for Harley Reid if we were to get him? And just as a mini FYI, I did get a message in our group chat from Grok, and he reckons that the trade murmurs are starting to heat up a little bit around Harley Reid as well. There's one other player too that we're interested in, and I'm not going to drop the name just yet because I want to make sure that he's okay with it before I do it. But it sounds like it's a little bit of Richmond working out between themselves which player we would rather prioritise. And the second player, is high tackle to Kane McAuliffe. And the other player in question wouldn't be a bad get as well, but probably won't cost as much. Wouldn't cost as much, I don't think. Will still cost a little bit. Well, if they're going to pay that type of free kick to old mate from Box Hill, then they've got to stay consistent. As Kane McAuliffe could be the first score. Good goal from Kane McAuliffe to kickstart the second quarter. Yeah, so we should all inbox Grok. That's right. Get around Grok's inbox. No, I would prefer to trade and 2026 and 27 future first and keep these two. If that was on the table, Noah, I think you would do that in a heartbeat. Now, the only thing that's making me a little bit iffy about the 2026 piece is we've got in 2026, we're going to need picks for Tanner Armstrong, who at the moment it could be a top 15 prospect the way he's playing, which is really exciting. We're going to need picks for Jack Lees, father-son, potentially Archie Daffy, father-son. And I know that no one thinks that Cody Walker's going to pick us, but from what I've heard, the club don't think the race is done just yet. They still believe we're right in the hunt for him, and they're still putting the work in to try and get him over the line. So I won't discount that one just yet, but Cody Walker's going to be a top 3 pick potentially. So we're going to need some genuine currency next year to be able to take all of these players. As we go inside 50 again, Lie, bang, 2 goals in about 35 seconds. Lovely way to start the second quarter. Braden Maynard. Oh, no, it's not Braden Maynard. No, not him. I think he's going to go to the Kangaroos, from what I've heard. Or the Kangaroos at least are going to offer mega dollars. Because like we reported a while ago, the Kangaroos were after leadership, defensive leadership as well, which is why they went after Nathan Broad in such a big way. And it's no surprise that their back line is what's letting them down massively at the moment. I'm not at all suggesting that Braden Maynard would fix that, but he would definitely add a bit of a hard edge and some leadership of some kind to the back line of the Kangaroos. Nice little move there by Sims. Yeah, Sims will be okay, I reckon. Sims will be okay. Yeah, I think North are going to offer something crazy for Maynard, like to the point where people are like, what the actual hell is going on for Maynard? So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Smiley gets taken aground. Massimo, imagine if we paid Harley Reid 2 mil, then we have first 8 round picks out of contract when Taz come in. Yeah, I've seen a few people raise the list management thing, Massimo. I'm personally okay with it. And I've said this before. The reason why I think we'll be fine is you've got to remember, not long ago, we were able to juggle Dustin Martin, Trent Cotchin, Jack Rewalt, Alex Rance, Shane Edwards, Tom Lynch, Dylan Grimes, could be a couple of others. We were able to juggle all of them on our books at the same time. And I firmly believe that we have some of the best list management people in the entire industry when it comes to contract shuffling and balancing. So I don't have any fear about how that's going to look when these 8 draftees all get to different points in time for their contracts. And the cap goes up as well. I'm okay with it. And look, no doubt that your Rewalts and Cotchins and Dusties, they all bought into the club a bit and maybe took unders along the way and things like that. But they were still getting some pretty good dollars and we were able to keep them all at the same time. So I'm not too scared by that. I'm not too scared. I actually had someone else at work who is a Collingwood supporter who does have a mate that is a mad Richmond nuffy who's very, very well connected to the Richmond Footy Club. And our mate at work said he's going to have his eyes peeled and open and looking at Richmond all in the off-season because apparently we're prepared to splash our cash. He didn't say any names, but he said we're prepared to splash cash this off-season, which is interesting. So I'll have to keep an eye on that and see what happens. As Smiley, just gets a kick away. Oh, that's holding the ball if he's not careful. Sims, Skudush, how are you, mates? Yeah, Sims doing good things. He is. Dave H. Lawler's been named in the centre this week. See how he goes there for a few before we chase Reed. Yeah, I'm glad Lawler's named in the guts. It'd be good to see him in there a bit more. I suppose, though, from the club's perspective, they view pairing Reed and Lawler as a generational type midfield. And if you get the Harley Reid at the best of his ability and the best of his potential, they're probably spot on. For me, that's still a little bit of an unknown. But yeah, hopefully that if it comes off, hopefully that's what we get. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. McCall needs to come in. Yeah, I would like to see him in. If we were going to put McAuliffe in, who would he be in for? Who would you drop? Grace, so I'm reckoning we'd have 4+ million or so next year. And I mean, and that's the thing though, like, you got to be able to pay, is it 95 or 90% of the cap, whatever it is. And we've got such a young and inexperienced team that we're going to pay it somewhere. So you may as well get a free agent in of some sort of quality. So you don't have to pay all the youngsters a crazy amount up front. It's a really interesting scenario. Or under the pump here in the back line.
Gray under pressure. Here is Anderson. Dragged down by El Nor, but found his boot. Floats it to
Ah.
point blank range. And Box Hill can start the long road back.
Juddy just couldn't get body on in there. Yeah, Smiley's been a little bit quiet. Want to see him do a bit more, to be honest. Teagues to go hinting to we should all inbox CB for kicks. Box Hill just clinging on for dear life here if they can kick this. Which they do. They just pressured well there, Box Hill. Got it moving their way and were able to punish.
8-2 to 4-1, 25 points the margin, 11.5 gone second term. Important goal for Box Hill.
Yeah, it's true now that there's no obvious plays to get dropped, so you need to, still need to reward form from like McAuliffe and Sonsie. The problem is, though, like we've spoken about a few times, that with Sonsie in particular, they'll reward him with the game, but they'll play him at the half-forward line where he's no good. It just seems like if we're going to play a half-forward, play Jasper Elgar. Whereas if Kane McAuliffe was to come in, I'd feel a bit more confident in saying that he would get more midfield minutes at AFL level. But hopefully we do see him soon as well. Jamie, drop Ross, constantly proving he isn't up to a couple of good games. Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Like, I understand what you're saying. His good games are really good, though, and I guess from a hope perspective, we want to keep seeing more of that. Because when he's playing really well, it really complements the midfield. But to your point, you kind of got to be able to bridge that consistency and El Nua just mungles one forward and be able to have the difference between his best and worst a lot smaller. Fawcett just crashes through. Doesn't give up, Fawcett. He might get pinged here. Gee, that's unlucky. The only one fighting for the footy and gets pinged for it. Very unlucky. Skadoosh, is this a good sign for tomorrow that our game plan's holding up well against theirs? Fair point. I mean, when you look at, if you want to compare to last week where our game plan and everything else didn't hold up to Casey Demons, then the same thing kind of happened in the AFL. I think that's not a bad point you make. And like, even with tomorrow, like I said, I feel like our key backs are going to match up okay on their key forwards. Like I really do think that Bolter and Troll will do Bolter will do well on Troll and Miller will do well on Gunston, or whichever way they pair it up. I just think it's their big defenders and their small forwards that might get a hold of us. As Sonsie goes inside 50, beautiful kick to force it. Oh, he's not paid it. And they've landed on him. Jeez. Fawcett really should have dragged that one in. Great kick by Tyler Sonsie. Wow. That's disappointing that we didn't finish that. Box Hill now go down the other end. Blight probably gave away a free kick then, but it wasn't paid. Oh. Oh. Jesus. What's the free kick for? Oh my God.
Well, that was probably a little tougher than it needed to be, Todd, but they're going to get there in the end.
I think Kavara might have been the one that touched this as it went through. So he was very fortunate to have just got clipped high there.
Just a bit of contact there with Nick.
He was running to get the ball. That is a bit of a shit one. To be fair though, Forster should have marked the other one. It shouldn't have even been going down that end. Or Jimmy, if Meatball is fit, who goes out? Dino, it's because I didn't have time to update the graphic and I don't have a Box Hill logo. Yeah, getting all the kids sorted and stuff like that. I just had stuff running in the background. I didn't have time to set it all up. So That's just, yeah, a time thing. I didn't even know I was going to be doing this until about 10 minutes beforehand. But if Meatball's fit, who goes out? It's a good question, Jimmy. The logic of me says it's between a Jack Ross and a Thompson Dow. Maybe someone gets unlucky like a Trezise as well. And this is where it gets interesting. And I don't mean this in a nasty way to Dion Prestia, because I absolutely love what he's done for the club. But my question would be, will the current Dion Prestia offer more for us now and long term by playing or by coaching? What would he be more beneficial doing? Like, is it of benefit to us to take away midfield minutes and game time, etc., from a youngster who we're trying to get to 50 games just to keep playing Dion? Like, are we going to be any better off doing that? Or are we better off having his expertise in the coach's box and out in the field at the huddles and stuff like that helping out? That's where my head's at. And like I said, I don't want that to sound like it's not a criticism or anything like that. It's just one of those football type of decisions we've got to try and work out. Because if he comes in, a youngster's missing out. And as a young up-and-coming side, I don't know whether we should want to do that too much. Oh, that's a dangerous kick. Good mark, though. No, Tanner Armstrong reminds you of Baker, some of the quickest hands from plays you've seen. He's pretty good, Tanner Armstrong. And like the highlights I put up is him playing under 18s in his underage year too. So he's got another year of 18s left to go. So he's only going to get better, hopefully. But yeah, he could be a genuine top 15 prospect. Unlucky Juddy Clark. Massimo, I don't see why we can't use Dion as a sub. Possibly. I mean, Hawthorn have used some of their older players as sub, haven't they? He could do. He could come on as a sub into the midfield potentially. Or maybe is he fighting for a spot with a Camden McIntosh, for example? So the older guys rotate spots around maybe. I just think it would be to our detriment if he took the spot of a youngster when we're at a point in time where we need to be getting games into these kids as quick as possible. At a minimum, renegotiate Hopper and Taranto contracts to front end to pay AFL minimum, then go ballistic. 3 free agents. Who would you go for? What free agents would you go for? I mean, you'd love a Tom De Koning up forward. I don't think we can afford to go that ballistic, maybe. But yeah, who else would be out there that's enticing and that would fit our model and what we want to try and do? Keen to hear what everyone thinks in that front. Scoreboard's dried up a bit for us here. We need to look to bounce back. We've got Sims in the ruck. Umpire's gone down. Juddy Clark in there. See, Juddy Clark's another one who may find himself on the verge of senior selection at some stage too. Cozzy doing well again down back, just workmanlike. Oh, that's a free kick in the back, surely. The tap. Nick Tacos, super. Yeah, it'd take something special to get him away from the Pies, I think. Any running half-backs available by free agency? I'm not too sure. Maybe at half-time we'll have a look at the free agency list and see what's there. We'll have a look. Yeah, Fawcett's just a competitive animal, isn't he? I think he'll go okay long-term, Fawcett. Not too much happening by way of scores currently. Pack forms. Oh, good mark. Who was that? Boxy. Oh, Deer. That's a great mark. And he's taken off the inside kick as well. Well read by Kaczynski. Very, very good there. He was the only one who wanted the ball then. Gray, Stokey do like Meatball as a sub. Oh, you like Meatball's in a sub. Yes, very good. Meatball sub. I like it. The old marinara sauce, bit of lettuce and carrot, salt and pepper. Oh, Gray's just drifting up forward. Must get a handball. He did. Oh, he's got a bit of pressure on this kick. It one hit a target's Juddy Clark. Oh, he just wasn't able to get there quick enough. Oh, that's a shithouse kick. That is one of the worst kicks you'll see, I reckon. No pressure and just chip it out in the full. Horrible. Collier with the ball to go inside 50. Deep to the square. Oh. Oh, Gray's down there. Bow pushed over for a behind. Interesting to see Campbell Gray up the front half a little bit now. Oh, Todd Goldstein doing some commentary. Oh, Sims. Oh, there was a Falcon there, I reckon, inside 50. Good tackle. Campbell Gray with a tackle. Massimo Razzo dribbles one through for his third. What a great goal from Razzo. Great tackle from Campbell Gray to cause the spillage. I'm really liking his work up front, and it's kind of exactly why I thought we might have kept him in this week to play up forward in the AFL team. Those type of efforts would tick a few boxes, I reckon. But Razzo is putting his name forward every week to be selected at the mid-season draft. If it's not by us, it'll be by someone. Keeping in mind, we still don't have a spot on our list available for anyone yet. So a bit to still play out in this space. Watch Campbell Gray's work here, though. Pack forms. Gray lays the tackle, causes the turnover, and Razzo does the rest. Not sure, Dave. Not sure if we take Razzo. I know I've just talked him up big time. He's a gun. Someone will take him. I just don't know if he will be playing AFL for us ahead of Steely Green, Seth Campbell, Ryan Mansell, etc. Like, will he get games ahead of those guys? I don't know. Or will someone like McCarthy get games ahead of him? It's Kane McAuliffe. Gets to the top of the 50. Oh, Elgar at the back of the pack. Takes the mark. Gets the Joe the Goose. Lovely goal, Jasper. He reads the flight so well. Great work in the middle of the ground there as well. Well, it's an interesting name, Noah. Interesting name. Yes, I like it. Watch this space. Noah, watch this space. And that's my thing, Jones Racing. And it sounds horrible because Razzo is a gun. But I'm just not sure he's the need. Like, if we're weighing up needs, I don't know if he fits that criteria. Sonzi to Smiley, McAuliffe to Elgar, the future's here. That's it. Like, watch out. I'm sure you're all 30 seconds ahead. But the smother gets applied. Sonzi gets the ball back. Who was number 76, though? That was really good. Smiley out to McAuliffe. McAuliffe gets it in deep. Elgar reads it beautifully. Goal. You love to see it. Love to see it. Smiley should get a free kick there for too high. Oh, no free kick. Okay. Cheers. Hoops, Jasper is kicking like 2 goals a game. I know, mate. I know. And there was probably one game where he could have had 5. And he was just really inaccurate. Like, he can't be doing too much more to try and force his way in, that's for sure. Great grab. Nice mark. We should play a sponsor someone, shouldn't we? Maybe we'll play a sponsor Jasper. Still no update on the Geelong College versus Scotch game either, for those wanting to know. Still no scores there, which is a little bit annoying.
Talking about that connection, your small forwards have been going into great positions at the feet of your...
Is that right? That was the first name, Noah? Fair enough. Is that a good thing? Oh, geez, that fence is bloody close. Sonzi's just gone crashing in. Could you imagine an AFL player giving an interview like this mid-game? It's good. It's good insights.
Just making sure we time our
Um,
and getting
yeah, interesting.
footy. It's been good. We've seen Massimo Razzo get a couple of goals today, and it's all about timing with his,
Snack back with the hit out. Smiley just gets driven into the turf.
More of that, Sharon. You've had 9 so far.
Hayes Brown did not like the treatment of Smiley then.
Lockie Wilson is there.
Neither did Kay McAuliffe.
Bit happening. Cody Anderson involved. Ramsden unopposed in the ruck. Donahue
Oh, Kay McAuliffe, he is not happy. There's a bit of heat in this one, lads.
and Ramsden and Porter respond. Smiley threw Porter off it.
Oh, they pick one out. Get absolutely stuffed.
Provided a free. Margin 32. Richmond
Yeah, they're definitely going after him, Dave, aren't they? They're going after Smiley.
in the middle of the court.
Glenn, the game is on 7 Mate, and it's also, I'm watching it personally on the AFL website. If you go to the VFL section, you can watch the games through there. That's what I'm watching it on. I think mine's about 30 seconds behind. But yeah, it's also on 7 Mate if you want to watch it on normal TV. But still hang around here and have a listen and drop in the chat as well. Does a sponsored player get a free robe? No. So the way sponsored players work, so there are perks to doing it. I think it's about $1,600 or $1,800. And the way we do it on the Big Footy website, which is how I would do it for the Tiger Cast if anyone was ever interested, is people pledge to commit a share. So a share being $50, which is one share, $100 is 2 shares. And throughout the year, there's different events and things like that you get to do as part of the sponsorship program with the players. So you go to like a dinner, or there was a lawn bowls event you went to with all the players and stuff like that. It's really good. The players are awesome to talk to. And the way it works on Big Footy when we did the player sponsorship is anyone who bought a share would nominate which prize they wanted to go in the draw for, like a raffle. And 1 share was 1 ticket, 2 shares was 2 tickets, and then we would draw out a winner for each of those events, and they would get to go as the player sponsor, to catch up with the player or whatever. So I don't know, it's a lot of money, and it requires a lot of commitment from like everyone who wants to participate to pledge and make sure they commit to giving the money and going to the events, making sure people are available and stuff like that. So there's a bit in it, but it would be fun to do, I reckon. That was great composure from Algo. That's a good call, Super. He could have quite easily blazed away after already having 2, but lowered his eyes beautifully there. That's very disciplined. That's very disciplined. Craig, how are you, mate? I think it's a good question. As it sits right now, I would say yes, McAuliffe gets a game ahead of Smiley. As it sits right this second, as we get another goal late in the quarter. Yeah, Craig, I think you would have to say that McAuliffe is ticking a lot more boxes, getting a lot more disposals than what Josh Smiley is currently. Let's see if the stats have updated. No, your parents' friends are sponsoring and housing Liam Fawcett. Ah, interesting. I wonder if they were... So when I was at Casey Fields the other day, there was a family next to me that it seemed like they were either related to Liam Fawcett or they knew him really well. So I'm wondering if that was them, because they were always very mindful and watching where he was. They seemed lovely. Did I see the umpire in the North game change his decision late in the game and start? Yeah, word in his ear. Yes, I did see that. It's very interesting. I suppose people have often thought that the umpires get calls. Oh, Bauer. Got to hold on to that, mate. But then they're saying that the umpires are mic'd up between themselves and it's not coming from an umpire coach's box. My thing is, if it's not, then release all the audio. Like, put it out there so people can hear what's being said. But I'm guessing that will never happen. Elga is putting dents in Uze's door. That is a good call. He is bashing that door down with both hands at the moment.
Mitchell, who's busy early, quiet since, to Ryan. They need to generate some of this run from the back to Clace. Johnson played it well to at least halve the contest.
Can't be long left in the second quarter. Good response after a bit of a stalemate in the middle part of the game.
A game high. The Tigers have doubled their quarter-time lead. Reed,
Oh, good bump.
who's dealt with, and
He
then
just tripped McAuliffe.
off ball between Porter and
Alga hasn't got it. Oh, Frost, you're a dick, mate. Oh, Alga's giving it to him as well. He's giving it to him.
Letting the veteran Sam Frost 180
Let him know, Jasper.
know all about
That's a dangerous move there. He should know better.
your head in Frankston tonight.
Alger.
Oh, Bauer, of course, going for Mark of the Year. What else would we expect?
And Todd, I think this response we've seen from Richmond, anytime there's been any sort of
This is VFL 2017 vintage vintage footy Greystoke. I like it.
piece that I'm sure they talked about during the week.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you want to see when things don't go quite as well the week before.
Or, yeah, would they manage Lawler? I mean, he had a week off not long ago, didn't he?
Ned Reeves will come off.
Not sure he'll have another week off anytime soon. And they've just had the 9-day break as well, so he should be feeling a bit fresher. There'll definitely come another point during the year where he'll get managed, as will Trainer, as will players like Tom Brown as well, and probably even Steely and Morris and whoever else.
He's Brown at the front against Ramsden, who got the tap. Swooping on it was Garner.
Oh, Garner just got wrapped up.
Porter and Frost, and the push and shove continues.
Number 7 is exactly what Gordon did against us. Yeah.
Ramsden tries to work Hayes Brown.
Oh, Hayes Brown with a good handball out.
Garner
Sonzi.
takes the tackle from Mitchell, and again they're not pleased in close. Bianco ripped off.
The Tiger boys are taking great exception to the way that they're being treated by the Hawks players. As Garner gets put down again.
Bianco and Garner. George found the football, found his boot,
Another behind.
but misses right. There's some real feeling in this game right now.
Tell you what, if you box Hill, you probably should be a bit more, putting a bit more effort into winning the footy, I reckon, than trying to push people.
Long clearance from Ryan.
Good mark.
Campbell Gray completes a 9 out of 10 half for the Tigers.
As Campbell Gray takes a mark on the siren.
Time on in the
Good second quarter there. It was a bit of a, like I said before, a bit of a stalemate midway through that second quarter, but then we piled on a few goals at the end there to create a bit more separation. 11-4-70 to 5-1-31 at half time. Now, Sam Frost has still been a dick, mate. Get on with it, Sam. Get on with it. You're playing VFL and you're getting smacked by a bunch of kids. Leave it alone.
Smith, Deer, Mitchell. This is still not dissipated.
Like, Frost should know better. As a senior, experienced AFL player, he should be doing better than that.
Been like cheeky upstarts tonight, and are smiling.
Oh, good to see the Tiger boys getting up and about.
The umpires as well.
This is what I mean, and I said this the other week about being unsociable Tigers.
Haven't seen
I'd love to see this type of unsociableness. Is that even a word? Tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. That'd be good to see.
39. I imagine they've got a very happy captain.
Yeah, Hoops, maybe they should try Smiley deep forward and get some goals, get some confidence. Because I don't think he's kicked one yet, has he?
This VFL string.
All right, we'll jump over to the disposal or the stats. I'll bring it across here so it's in front. Tom McCarthy leading the way with 14 disposals. Tyler Sonzi up to 12. Lockie Wilson 11. Caleb Smith 11. Kaczynski 10. Joel Garner 10. Kane McAuliffe 9. Sean Lay 9 and 2 goals. Jacob Blight 9. Austin Johnson 8. Smiley up to 7 disposals. 1 clearance, 2 tackles. Campbell Gray 7 disposals. Tom Sims 6. Fawcett 6. Juddy Clark 6. Elga 6 disposals. Clearance, a couple of marks, 2 goals. Rezo 5 disposals, 3 kicks, 3 goals. Pretty good ratios there. And they're probably the ones leading the way. Old Cleaners had 1 disposal there, so not shooting the lights out exactly. But no, it's definitely been, Damien, it's a good point. It's definitely been a much better response to what we dished up last week. I'm just going to look up AFL free agents for 2025, because we were talking about that before. I agree, Hoops. That was extraordinarily dangerous from Sam Frost. That was really stupid. Let's have a look at the free agent list. So, Adelaide, I'll just read out the names of note. Matt Crouch, Wayne Miller, Lockie Murphy, Riley O'Brien, Brodie Smith, Taylor Walker. Probably nothing of interest there. They're all unrestricted. Brisbane restricted, Brandon Starcevich. Unrestricted, Darcy Craven, Sam Day, Darcy Gardner, Ryan Lester, Dane Zorko, too old. Carlton restricted, Tom DeConing. So no doubt DeConing is probably of interest in some way, shape or form. I think you'd be crazy to not ask the question. I just don't know whether we could actually honestly afford him. It doesn't seem like we'd be able to, but I think we would maybe at least ask. Unrestricted, Sam Doherty, probably too old. Francis Evans, Orazio Fantasia, Nick Haynes, George Hewitt. Hewitt does some pretty good things, but again, not really the player we need. Jack Silvani. Collingwood, unrestricted. Mason Cox, Jamie Elliott, Will Hoskin-Elliott, Jeremy Howe, Ash Johnson, Oleg Markov, Braden Maynard, Brody Myercheck, Scott Pendlebury, Steel Sidebottom. Myercheck would be maybe some interest, depending on how the forwards go. Maybe not. Maybe we're feeling okay there. No one else really off that list jumps out. Essendon, Sam Draper, Todd Goldstein, Jason Laverde, Jackson Pryor. I mean, Draper could be of consideration in the rucking department potentially. Fremantle, unrestricted, Nathan Fife, Oscar McDonald, Quinton Narkle, Jeremy Sharp, and Michael Walters. Jeremy Sharp could be interesting. I'm not sure why he's got an asterisk next to his name though. Geelong, Jed Buse, Mark Blitzarves, Mitch Duncan, Cam Guthrie, Jake Kolajasny, Reece Stanley. Again, no one really jumping off that list as one that we would love to slot in. Gold Coast, Sam Collins, Braden Fiorini, Nick Holman, Sean Lemons, Alex Sexton, David Swallow. Sexton, maybe Fiorini, yeah, probably not so much. GWS, Josh Fahey, Lachlan Keefe, Callan Ward, Jacob Were, probably no one there of interest. Hawthorn restricted, James Warple, unrestricted, Luke Bruce, Jack Gunson, Seamus Mitchell. Oh, the asterisks could be previously listed, possibly. Yeah, maybe. Melbourne, Jack Billings, Tom Campbell, Jai Cully, Marty Hoare, Tom McDonald, Jake Melksham, Charlie Spargo. There's no one really jumping off the page here at the moment. North Melbourne, Toby Pink, Brian Teakle, Port Adelaide, restricted, Kane Farrell. Kane Farrell would be an interesting one to play off halfback. I wouldn't mind inquiring about that if we feel like he can offer more than what Jaden Short and Tom Brown are doing as a ball user off halfback. Rory Atkins, Travis Boak, Dylan Williams. Richmond, we don't really... Well, our ones are Kalina, Tom Lynch, Camden McIntosh, Dion Prestia. St Kilda, Zane Cordy, Liam Stocker, Jimmy Webster. Nothing of interest there. Sydney Swans, Robbie Fox, Aaron Francis, Joel Hamling, Jake Lloyd, Ben Patton, Dane Rampy. West Coast Eagles, Oscar Allen is restricted. Sandy Brock, Tom Cole, Jamie Cripps, Jaden Hunt. He's got a bit of pace. Jake Petruccelli, he's got some pace as well. And Dom Sheed. And the Western Bulldogs, Ed Richards, Oscar Baker, Bontempelli, Taylor Duray, Jason Johannesson, Liam Jones, Liberatore, and Caleb Poulter. So, I mean, of that list, for me, Ed Richards would be number one on that list, but he's also one that I think it sounds like he's going to re-sign very, very shortly with the Bulldogs, which is very, very disappointing. I would have loved to have got him on board. But what does everyone think about Kane Farrell? Would he be someone we would consider targeting as a free agent to fill like a halfback role, potentially? Do we think there's a need there for someone of a Kane Farrell type who maybe won't cost the world? I'll get back to the chat. Mortal Wombat, how are you, mate? Jasper Alger giving the Box Hill players a serve at the end of the half time was golden. Tigs are up and about. They definitely are. No, they're well and truly up and about. Good to see Jasper having another good game as well. Hoop says, needs someone off half back that has speed in midfield. Yeah, and that's why Kane Farrell might be of interest potentially. Might be of interest. Shane Simmons, if we're picking a side on effort and content, McAuliffe plays before Smillie at this stage. Not to mention Elgar. I think I agree on all fronts there. I reckon, yeah, if you're picking based on form and exposed performance and things like that, then yes, McAuliffe is definitely getting ahead of Smillie at the moment. I agree. Hoop says, Harley Reid I'm out on, and Zach Butters as well. Built through the draft for a few years. I don't mind hitting a couple of players, experienced players to come in. It's just you don't want to you don't want to overpay and undo any of the work you've done with the other draftees. Like you would want to go to this draft with at least one of the picks we've got between our pick and North's pick, because they're both probably going to be top 6 picks if we're being realistic. There's no way I would trade both of them this year. If we're trading for someone like a Butters or a Reed, it's one from this year and one future, or I wouldn't entertain it, to be honest. Because I think it's still important to add a little bit of a blend of youth and experience. Because we need all 3 our points. Yeah, well, and so as it stands now, we will need to get another pick in of some capacity for Louis Callaway as well. Because at the moment, I reckon he's going to be between that 30 and 40 bracket. He's doing a lot better every week. If you haven't seen his highlights from last week yet, jump onto our YouTube page. We've got the recent highlights up there. He had 31 disposals, 1 goal. He even had a hit out. He had about 8 marks, 5 clearances, 5 tackles. Had a really, really good game, hitting his targets. It's improved dramatically since the first week, which was shithouse conditions, mind you. But yeah, he's doing really, really well. So I think we'll need a pick of some kind, whether that's trading futures out. And maybe we'll talk about quickly, what players do people think might be traded at the end of the year from Richmond? Do we have any players that are maybe of interest to other clubs that we might get some currency for? Could someone like a Tyler Sonsie want to look to go elsewhere to get opportunity? If he does, what would he be worth? Kane McAuliffe would be another one I'm worried about that might do the same thing. If he does, what's he worth? I feel like that whether it's this year or next year, I reckon we might lose one of our key defenders. So if we look at our key defensive stocks, we've got Noah Bolter, Ben Miller, Josh Gibcus, Tyler Young, Jacob Blight, Campbell Gray, Kazitsky. I know Kazitsky's not cracking into the ones, but that's like 7 players that we've got straight off the bat who play the same type of positions that we don't really need all of them. And this is where I think if we were to go after Harley Reid, this is where I think that Jacob Blight could be used as part of a trade to maybe lessen the amount of currency of draft picks we would need to give up, because they do need to get another backman in after losing Barras and Blight to WA boy, as is Miller. I didn't realise Miller was a WA boy until the other day, until my mate pointed it out. But yeah, he could be another one that potentially gets involved too, because the Eagles might still be looking for a defensive player. Dave H, do we slide back our second pick in the draft a few spots to get some seconds and thirds so we can get the father sum? No, I wouldn't. If we're talking about that we've got 2 top 6 picks, you absolutely take that to the draft every day of the week and just take the 2 best kids available at those picks, or if one's needed to try and get a Harley Reid across, then so be it. But I definitely wouldn't split it, especially being a compromised draft. I don't think, like, even watching the draft stuff already, I don't feel the draft's as talented this year as it was last year. I know it's early days, but I would definitely hold on to 2 top 5 picks, top 6 picks, whatever it might look like, and take players with that, or use for a trade. Only one of them though, only one. Hoops, you reckon Sonsie could go? Walter Wombat, you reckon Short could be traded? Gee, that'd be a big call on Short. I only say that because he's in our leadership group, won a BNF not long ago. Would there be interest? Like, yeah, I don't know. I think we have to listen to all offers though, don't we? The problem is who else would we have to play the half-back role? We still need a dynamic half-back. If we were to, okay, here's a hypothetical. If we were to bring in someone like a Kane Farrell, I don't know if he's re-signed recently or not, but I only just read the free agency list and his name was on it. So apologies if he's re-signed since that list was published. But if we were to hypothetically bring in a Kane Farrell as a free agent to play half-back from Port Adelaide, then we would be able to contemplate trading Short and to have currency to then get Callaway later on. So that in that scenario, it would actually work. Hoops, you reckon force it back to Adelaide? I hope not. We do have some big tall forward stocks though, so I see where you're coming from. Melanie, Blight back to WA. I think that's a chance too. Jamie, I think Miller gets used as trade to West Coast. Who would we rather keep? If we had to pick between Miller and Blight to keep one, who would you all rather keep? I think I'd rather keep Miller. Would I? I'm now questioning myself. Blight probably offers a bit more in different parts of the ground, but I think Miller's defensive work, whilst he has had some blunders, so has Blight, so has other defenders. I think Miller's usually pretty solid, especially when playing alongside Bolter. Yeah, Young and Miller nearly the same player. Masamoto, good call. Paul Lee, Sonzi would only get a third round pick at best. That would be okay though, because that's all we might need to be able to complete the transaction for Louis Callaway. So that's not the worst. That's not the worst if that was to happen. My concern, Paul, is that Sonzi goes to another club and tears it up in the midfield. That's my greater concern. Hoops, hell no for trading Miller. Shane, I like Callaway as a running half back. Well, he played a bit of backline last year for Sturt and was taking a lot of the kickouts as well. So not unfamiliar for him. He's got okay pace too. Like if you watch the recent highlights I put up, he does have good burst away pace from stoppage. So yeah, maybe that could be something that he does. And it's good because he's already been at the club too, so they would have a good indication of what he's like as well. Noah, hot take, Richmond will either the first or second AFL team to reach 17 premierships. I like it. Noah, I'm here for all of those hot takes. I love it. Kurt would love us to trade short, keep Blight over Miller. Shane wants to keep Miller. Noah, keep Miller, has a son. We've got to think of father-sons. T reckons Blight's way better than Miller. In what way do you think he's way better though, T? Explain why you think he's way better. Don't argue, keep Miller, but Blight has a higher ceiling. I think that's probably I think that's maybe what T was getting at potentially. Mortal Wombat, Miller will grow into a gun. Grimes 2.0, keep him. Jamie, I'd rather keep Blight over Miller. More versatile than Miller isn't in our best defenders when everyone is fit. Oh, that's a big call. That's a big call. Why don't you? Who would you have in the best defenders? Are we talking when Gibcus is back? I assume. It's an interesting topic though, isn't it? Because when Gibcus is back, if he's playing in defence, is it Gibcus and Bolter, and then you've got more of your medium-sized in Trainer, Broad, Floston. Yeah, it could be tricky. I still personally think that Gibcus will play forward when he comes back. That's how I think Miller will stay in the team. I think Miller does really well defensively, one-on-one, and I reckon that he'll be saved by the fact that I reckon Gibcus will play forward. Shane, he did watch it. Yeah, he does have good pace. He works hard. Like, I don't know. So the trend I've seen for Louis Callaway in all the games I've watched is he'll play for about 18 and a half minutes of every quarter and then go off for 2 or 3 minutes, then come back on. So he's working pretty hard for a long time in quarters. I know obviously Sanford's a big step down from AFL, of course, but he's putting in the good work early, and I just love the fact he's improving week on week. He's had a couple of best on ground performances. So he's putting his best foot forward. Blight looks to be carrying something. Yeah, they said, OJ, on the broadcast that Blight rolled his ankle in the first quarter, so they had it restrapped. So if he's limping and labouring around a bit, that's why. I haven't heard anything about Sonzi though, but they definitely mentioned Blight rolled an ankle. Maybe we trade Dion if he wants to keep playing, or Lynch. Yeah, a mate of mine reckons that Lynch might look for another opportunity, just for one last flag, not based off any information or anything, just based off his own hunch. I think we need to desperately keep Tom Lynch for another season. Like, I think CB flagged this as well on Monday night, and that's why he said that we should maybe look at Oscar Allen rather than Harley Reid, because if and when Tom Lynch retires, whether it's this year or next year, there still might be like a slight period of time where there isn't a good key forward there to help guide these young kids, and it might expose us a little bit. It might actually stunt our development, because like the midfield and defense might grow, and then we might lose our experience up forward, which could hurt us. So it's like, do we look at another experienced forward? But yeah, we would love to keep Lynch for another year or two, I reckon. Damien, will we lose anyone to the Tassie Devils? It's always a chance, isn't it? Sam Banks, he was from Tasmania originally. Seth Campbell was from Tasmania, would be another one that you'd be looking to sign up ASAP. If Tasmania were going to come in a year or two earlier, I reckon we would have lost Nate Curvis to them. We still might. I think by the time it happens, Nate might be a little bit too old, but I still think there could be an attraction there for him to go and help them start up potentially. But yeah, Banks and Seth Campbell would be the ones that I'll be most concerned about, and I've got no doubt the club's probably looking at re-signing them on ASAP, because I know they rate Banks really highly, and I'm sure they rate Seth Campbell as well. Noah, maybe trade Cozzy. We could, but I really don't know. I don't think we'd get too much for him, to be honest. I mean, having said that though, if we only need to get like a third or fourth round and we can somehow scrounge that together to be able to get Callaway, it's worth it. Otherwise, I think you might get delisted when the time comes. Hoop says Miller halves his one-on-ones. It's not easy to find that. Exactly right. And I think people often forget that at various large stages of last year, he was in the top 10% of the AFL for halving one-on-one contests, and he's been very similar again this year. Had a couple of stinkers, as have a lot of our players. He's still pretty young though, so take the good with the bad. He's okay though. Melanie, we need Lynch to teach the younger forwards. Agree. That's why I would love to still have him on for another year or two. I think there's still a lot to play out for him and teaching our youngsters. If he leaves this year, hypothetically, it does leave a big gap because our next most experienced is probably McKelty Lafau, who obviously played number one forward last year for us, but I don't think that's not going to be his job. I don't think it should be to teach the forwards coming through. Hoops, do we just trade a future second or third to get another pick in this year? And that's a possibility too. We might trade a future pick to get back into this year. A lot of different combinations, which is good. Yeah, Brendan Gale definitely would know some of our players fairly well, you would think, wouldn't you, Noah? North could use Cozzy. Yeah, their defence is shocking at the moment, isn't it? But yeah, I suppose, like I said before, for next year, we definitely need to keep some draft picks in hand because we've got a shitload of NGAs and father-sons next year too that we need to be able to afford. And they're handy players too, so you don't want to let them slip. Mortal Wombat, if Big Sexy retires this year, who would be chase for a number one forward? So, and that's where, if looking at the free agency lists, and this might not be a popular opinion, but that's where I think someone like a Brody Myercheck could play a role for a year or two if Tom Lynch was to go. I really rate Brody Myercheck. I think he's been underrated for a while, and he could potentially help in some capacity if Lynch was to go and shouldn't cost too much. Third quarter about to get underway out at Frankston. Bang, ball bounced. Timer on. Let's see if we can close this game out. Oh, Reeves just boots it off ground inside 50. How is that not holding the ball? Box Hill attacking early. Yeah, it will depend how the kids go, Jones Racing for sure, but I just can't see... I can't see Fall, Armstrong, Sims, Fawcett, anyone like that, like really stepping up and taking that number one forward mantle if Lynch was to retire this year. Lafau would be our best hope, but even then, I feel it's a bit of a stretch still to have him do that. Dude, that's a great goal. The kick. Nank will hang it up soon. Who is our next number one ruck? Well, look, I still think the club's hoping that it's Samson Ryan. I'm not sure if we're currently seeing enough to suggest that will eventuate. I know he's still very young for a ruckman, still trying to work it all out, but we probably haven't seen enough just yet to suggest that that's going to ever happen. I would hazard a guess that we might trade in for a ruck at some point in time if Ryan doesn't come along, because Hayes Brown's probably still not in the right age bracket to take over. Obviously, Colleen is not either. So yeah, it feels like it's either trade or Samson Ryan. So I'm not sure how that will all pan out for us. Yeah, Craig, it's a good point. It will help us if Gray and Gibcus can play forward so we can fit all the other players in the back line. I truly think that when Gibcus comes back, I really do think he'll play forward. He did that a couple of games. Oh, too high on McAuliffe, surely. He did that a couple of games for us early in his career. Looked really good up there. We're not going to want to play Bolter forward. We know that. And I think Miller's no good forward either. So if you're sort of looking for who can play forward the best out of those guys, I think you have to definitely roll the dice on Gibcus, I reckon. Kalina is getting better each week. I agree. He's definitely still a long-term project, but I'm more than happy to stick it out with him because I do see small glimmers of hope, not going to lie. Should get Reeves from the Hawks is back up to Nank, dominant VFL game, yes. And the other one, is it Ned Moyle, I think, for Gold Coast would be another one that we could look at as a potential trade. if we get the number 1 pick again, would I take Duff Tytler? And this is where it gets so tricky, Hoops, because like even if we got Duff Tytler, he threw his head back. Don't get sucked into that shit. Even if we got Duff Tytler, Nank's going to retire in 1 or 2 years, you would think. And Duff Tytler still wouldn't be ready to take the number 1 ruck mantle. Like Sims, Hayes Brown and Kalina would still all be closer to playing number 1 ruck than what Duff Tytler would be. So on that basis, I don't know if we would take him because I don't know if it would make sense to. Like, he's going to be a good player, but I think we're almost better off trying to trade for an established ruckman rather than, yeah, pin our hopes on a Duff Tytler. I don't know. I'm really torn. And Kurt, that point's also true that Gipkus going forward does make it hard for Armstrong, Sims, Fawcett and Fall. It means you'd be playing one of them and maybe someone like Bauer misses out on playing. Like we said, in a few weeks' time, or maybe not a few weeks, but let's say 6-7 weeks, there's going to be some serious selection headaches in a really weird and wonderful way for us. As Hawthorn, Kalshadir lines up for goal, hits the post. Hits the post. Yeah, Ned Moyles behind. Yeah, like I would definitely go after Ned Moyles. He shouldn't cost too much. Similar to how we obviously got Nank on the list, I guess. Kurt would love a back 3 of Bolter, Gibcus and Trainer long term. That does look appealing, doesn't it? That does look appealing. Fuck, we keep giving away free kicks. Any danger, boys, are not giving away free kicks here. Hawks are peppering the forward 50 at the moment. Liam Reedy or Nick Madden would be easy targets to get, probably a 3rd rounder. Yeah, so there's names everywhere that you could definitely have a look at. Like you guys have already rattled off 4 or 5. Brisbane backup ruck is it Darcy Fort? Is that who it is? G'day, Andrew. No, he hasn't done too much, Smiley, to be honest. I think he's had about 7 or 8 disposals. Some nice handballs. Yeah, nothing too flash at this stage, which is a little bit frustrating. But he's a young kid; he's still growing and developing. As Juddy Clark takes a really nice mark down back. Sims could be a genuine ruck option once he develops and grows. Agree. Yep, he could be. For rucks, we'll have to go find another Ivan Marek. Yeah, good call, Dave. I think that's a fair call too. Yeah, Tally Smiley's still building fitness, so he'll look to play another 4 quarters tonight. But like he played 4 quarters last week, but time on ground was probably only about 60%. So he really needs to get that up to 75-80% to start to be in contention for AFL. So it will, as Massimo Razzo intercepts, so we'll hopefully see a lot more minutes tonight from Smiley. But we want to see him get involved a bit more. Let's get Tom Derrick's back. Good call. Yeah, see, Jacob Bauer will be in an interesting position in terms of being potential trade. That's an interesting 50. I thought I heard a whistle too. Yeah, Bauer might look for opportunity. Like if he's competing against Fawcett, competing against Armstrong, Jonty Fall, players like that, maybe he wants to get a bit more surety about his AFL game time. Oh, that's a good kick out of defence. We can even rookie list a ruck. No need to pay for too much for one. Yeah, that's true, Jones Racing. That's true. Plenty of machinations, as they say. Is that the term that the media guys use? Oh, 3-on-1 and we've just bottled it. Blight gets the handball out. Henry Smith is Brisbane's young ruck forward. Max Ramsden 2 goals tonight so far. Hawthorn second ruck option who might seek a trade. Yeah, there'll be some options. I think we'll definitely have to be a bit creative on that front with the ruck department. Because again, there just seems to be a bit of a gap between when Nank's going to finish versus who we've naturally got in line, unless Samson Ryan comes on like we all hope he does. Sonzi kicks one off the ground that gets it to the half-forward line. Good chase by Elgar. It's a good... Oh, no, it's come undone. Juddy Clark bursts inside 50. Get a goal, son. Get a goal. Ah, she's missed.
Across the face on the left, but
Good speed from Juddy Clark there. You like to see it.
Hudson Clark
Spewing that he didn't kick the goal there.
against Werribee early in the VFL season last year, back and
Do we reckon Juddy Clark's a chance for AFL? I'm not saying next week, but in 2 or 3 weeks potentially. I think he's going to put his hand up soon.
out of the square.
I'm going to put his hand up.
It to the wing. This might be quick. No, Arundel outpointed. Numerical advantage with the Tigers.
Oh, good handball from Juddy Clark. Give it back to him.
Pop up Sprinkler and Rassa.
Yeah, nice little... Oh, no, the kick wasn't great.
Mitchell low down on the half.
G'day, Joe. How are you, mate? Thoughts on the new AFL 26? Yeah, liking what I'm seeing so far. It's a really tricky one. I know that sounds very contradictory, doesn't it? I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm also mindful and aware that like trailers for all games, whether it's, I don't know, the division or call it whatever it might be, trailers are trailers, right? They're usually cinematic. They're usually showing things in the best of the best of the best format and light. And quite often what we see in trailers isn't always things we'll see frequently in game. So obviously everyone's going to reserve their judgment until we see the game in action. But yeah, I will be going in earlier to test it out next week, which will be cool. So I'll be able to report back on what it all looks like and how it plays. But a good kick from Tyler Sonsie in board too. But yeah, I think it's not unusual for most games to come out with a trailer that doesn't show gameplay, that it's all just cinematics and trailers and cutscenes and things like that. I think that's actually pretty stock standard, to be honest. So I get a little bit confused when people try and throw that against Big Amp, because I think that's almost industry normal. Doesn't help us gamers though. But yeah, and when you read the post from today that they've got all the different tutorials, the goal kicking mechanism is completely different. And they're going to give some extra little benefits and rewards to those who played AFL 23 and those who did pro team in AFL 23 as well for 26, which was good. So yeah, all the different things you read, and management mode's a lot deeper. They're going to be doing like managing the club a lot more. So hopefully it all comes out as well as it's being portrayed, which is what we're hoping for. West Coast. Oh, West Coast beating the D's right now. What's the score? That's crazy. Andrew, Adam, McCarthy or Razzo if we can get one. Razzo on pure ability and the love for him, but McCarthy's probably actually the bigger need, I reckon. I just worry if we picked up Razzo that he'd just be playing VFL as an AFL listed player, which would kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? 4 possessions in 2 minutes for Juddy. Yeah, he's had a good purple patchy, hasn't he? Oh, Juddy Clark. What position do I see Juddy playing, Melanie? I would love to see him on a wing. Wing/half forward. And I know he's played half forward quite a bit when he first got to us. He's got really good goal sense, quick hands, quick feet, good agility. I think long term, it'd be great to see him on one wing and Hugo on the other wing. That's where I'd love to see him play. How was that not 50? Jesus. Halfback would be an interesting experiment as well. Dutton lost his seat, Paul, did he? Tyler Sonsie, snapped it out. Oh, not a mark. Garner keeps it in. Oh, Cozzy on the inside. Just venturing down the ground here, Kaczynski. Get in there, mate. Someone will fly. No one flew. Only one who wanted it was the Hawks ruckman. Gee, that was an iffy kick. My goodness. Joe, I was surprised by people on Instagram under AFL and Twitter saying the graphics look worse than PS2. Yeah, honestly, anyone who says the graphics are worse or are no good on the AFL game, I mean this with love and respect, have no idea and have extremely unnecessarily high expectations of a game from an Aussie developer. And all it does is tells me that they expect it to look like FIFA and NBA, which it was never, ever going to do based on budgets. And graphics, even last year for 23, graphics were one of the best parts of the game and is unquestionably the best graphics we've had for an AFL game. Anyone who says otherwise is delusional. And it will never be like a FIFA. It will never be like an EA Sports or a 2K or anything like that. It's just the way of the world. But for what we have as an Aussie developer, it's pretty good. But gameplay is king. Gameplay has to be where it's at. So, oh no! Oh wow! We absolutely balls that up. We tried to let the ball roll in there, and it just took a bit of a dog leg to the left. So the graphics can be as good as they want, but it has to play well. It all means nothing if it doesn't play well.
You never leave it. You always go for the mark. And doesn't matter how short it looks.
31-25 at halftime. Damn. Yeah, cause he's playing okay. And Skadoosh, I don't think we'll see him at AFL level unless we've had a crazy amount of outs in the same position. I think he knows that too. Like, if you look at the pecking order, he's probably 7th in line, isn't he? And then you got like Tyler Young coming back, who's probably going to be ahead of him quickly anyway. So I think he's got an understanding of where it's at, I'm guessing. Skadoosh, is it based on... Oh, I read somewhere... I could have sworn I read somewhere, Skadoosh, that the mid-season pick was based on percentage, maybe? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I swear I read that somewhere. I don't know where I saw it, though. It's a good question. I don't know the proper answer, but for some reason, percentage springs to mind first, but we'll have to see. There's probably 8,000 people saying AFL Live looks better. Nah, honestly, Joe, I cannot buy that for a second. It's absolute bullshit if anyone thinks that. They're purely trolling. It is... You have to just be out with an anti-Big Ant, an anti-AFL game agenda to honestly say or think that about the graphics. Like, we're in 2025. It makes literally no sense to say that they're worse than a PS2 game because it's not actually possible based on the engines that are built today. Like, it's not actually possible. So I wouldn't buy into the troll feeding stuff there. But like I said, gameplay is king. It can look as good as it wants. If it doesn't play well, then there's issues. And that's what people... And like, I'm not too fussed about graphics. I think what they've done is really good. I just want it to play well and have depth in career mode, depth in be a player mode. Because to me, that's more important than the graphic side of thing. Gameplay over graphics every day of the week, I reckon. Yeah, I haven't seen Smillie for a little while, Noah. I would assume that he's off the ground. Jacob Bauer, that is stupid. What a dickhead. That pisses me off to no end. Like, I know Box Hill aren't necessarily in the game as such, but why would you give away a pointless 54 by shoving the guy who's just marked it? I don't understand why people would do that. And if I'm a coach and I see that happen, that's a big red X straight away. Like, you've got to be better than that. There's nothing to gain from shoving a player like that. So stupid. Hawk Tim, how are you, mates? Games won, games play. They're doing win percentage because Gold Coast and Essendon. Oh, okay. See, this is why the buys are shit, Dave, aren't they? Because it skews that as well. Even more reason to fix it. Oh, yeah, Smiley's back on. Wrestled his way... That's a great kick. That's a good kick from Smiley. Could have arguably been holding the ball, but he got his kick away. Olga puts it in the space. That's probably going to be a hold. Ah. Nah, Smiley's out there. He just... Unless it happened in that bit of play there... but he just was in a contested tackle and got a nice little kick out. Yeah, Super. That was shit, that free kick from Bauer. Oh, Smiley with another handball out. I'd love to see Smiley get into some actual space and be able to use his run and carry and kick. Like, I appreciate that he's doing some good contested work, but I want to see him use the ball. Maybe I'm just being too needy and demanding of him. I think, Joe, they only get... I think... Look, I don't want to talk on behalf of Ross or Big Ant, but I think they only really block people if they're being aggressive about it. I think, you know, J&T Big Ant on the forums and all that, I've passed on plenty of criticism about the game, as have other people, but if you do it in the correct manner, then they're okay to take it on board. But, yeah, people seem to like getting into spats on Twitter and on socials instead, which seems to be much more up their alley. But not my cup of tea. I'd rather be constructive and try and help put something forward to try and get the best AFL game we can. As Smiley goes inside 50, or Fawcett was nowhere near that. Nowhere near it. Will Sam Lawler have the face scan and the other draftees? I'm pretty sure they will. So Yeah, so I believe they'll have the face scans for all of the players, but they just didn't have it in AFL 23, but it should all be there for 26, I believe. It'll honestly be one of the first few things I check, I reckon. We'll be playing a play now game with the Richmond draftees pretty quickly, I reckon. And I'll probably botch the goal kicking because it's a new overhaul system, but you've got to play with the young kids. Got to get them out there. Yeah, the VFL boys are good now, aren't they? Like, it's in the VFL listed players, you mean? Because there's even some guys like Sam Toner who aren't playing tonight who were showing some pretty good signs earlier in the season too. I think it might be Elja. I think I'm saying it incorrectly, Skadoosh. But I'll probably keep saying it incorrectly. I'll probably keep doing it. Yeah, Paul Bauer's interesting, isn't he? And Jamie, both of your comments side by side. Is Bauer going to end up in the next Cumberland? And Paul said, I liked Bauer until this year. He won't be there next year. It seems like, and someone made a point before, it seems like there's a bit of frustration creeping into his game, doesn't there? Like, I don't know if you watched the VFL last week or the week before when it was at Frankston again, where he threw the ball into the fence after not being paid a mark. And then he obviously had what he did just before, giving away the needless 50. Yeah, maybe he's frustrated because he's already fallen behind like a Jonty Fall and probably a Harry Armstrong as well. I can kind of understand why he might be frustrated, but then, you know what? It's on him to then perform to get himself back into the side. And yeah, maybe he's one that will ask for opportunity, similar to maybe like what a Tyler Sonsie might do. Hasn't been a good quarter for us here as the Hawks go forward. Scores a goal. Box Hill with another one. Still plenty to go in this game, I reckon. No, I don't think that Sharpie's been blacklisted. I think the fact he lives in Adelaide is probably the reason why he hasn't been asked to try the game. Yeah, I think that's as simple as it is, to be totally honest, because all the play stuff's done at their head office in Melbourne. So I think that's as simple as that might be, to be honest. But yeah, he and a couple of others have had some really negative, like harsh things to say and gone really hard at him. And maybe sometimes they've gone a bit too far the other way. Who knows? But I would dare say that it's his location that is the reason why he's not being asked. Would make the most sense. But that's just speculation. I've got no idea. All I know is that it's in Melbourne. They do have an Adelaide office. I'm not sure what's there, though, to be honest. How much they do or don't do there. Yeah, I reckon my way still might be wrong. Skadoosh with the Elga. Juno, welcome. Cleaner. Oh, no. I'm not writing him off just yet. Not just yet. It's a slow burn, mind you. I'm not getting carried away. But I'll see a few things. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe. At a minimum, though, Juno, I reckon he'll be relatively handy for us in the VFL. At a minimum. I think it's probably pie-in-the-sky stuff to think he might make AFL, but stranger things have happened. Mason Cox made it, and I kind of have Kalina in the same type of boat, but I think Cox has definitely had better forward craft, though. Yeah, Juddy Clark to play off halfback would be interesting. My only thing with that would be, if we're going to do that, we've got to play him here first in the VFL. We can't just bring him to AFL and play him on halfback when he's been training or playing on a wing. But yeah, I think wing or halfback would be interesting. Oh, Smiley, get a goal, son. That doesn't look anywhere near it. Left foot, out of bounds in the full. Oh, young fella in the greens trying to take a hanger on his mate there. That would have been huge. I don't know if they'd fly Caden out. They might not have the funds to fly anybody out. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Sims does love the jump for a ball, doesn't he? Yeah, Bauer didn't really take his chance, did he? As Hawthorn or Box Hill got a quick... Oh, that is a dog-ass bounce. Horrible. Now we've got a 3-on-1. We have to clean up here. That is extraordinarily lucky. We have been very fortunate there. That should have been a certain goal. That's 50. Dumb 50 as well. Cal Shadir, that is equally as stupid as Jacob Bauer. Equally as stupid. we got so lucky there. That ball, as he, how unlucky is that? To paddle out in front of yourself and it kicks up over you. That was horrible for him. I'm not sure who the Hawks player was. That was terrible. We need a settler here. We just need one to calm the nerves and just... The score's dried up for the Tigers. Yeah, I wonder why... Like I said, no, I reckon that maybe it's like him getting used to his body size with higher work rate, potentially. Maybe that's catching him out, because he's a big kid. So maybe it's a bit to do with that. So I'll have to... Hopefully it's something like that. Oh, too high, surely. Yeah, too high. Very good. Clint, how are you, Clint? Retire Prestia, McIntosh on chopping block. Cozzy, Kalina, Bauer, Sonzi, MRJ, Mansell. I'll categorically tell you, Clint, that Mansell is not on the chopping block. He'll almost be in the leadership group next year. That's how highly he's rated. He will not be on the chopping block. Inside 50. Trade Banks, that categorically won't happen either unless it's a Tassie thing and he wants to go. The club highly rate Banks. Steely, I don't think they'll do trade either. And Duff Tytler, the problem is he won't be ready to ruck when we need him to ruck, though. We'll still need to find a stopgap when Nank retires. And Grill, don't mind Grill. He could be a genuinely good chance, I reckon. He's probably the one I'm liking the most at the moment. The old grilled cheese. Jody Clark lifting. Just because they're a multi-million-dollar company doesn't mean they've got funds in the right parts of the business to do flying people out. That's not always how businesses work. There's different monies allocated to different parts of the business to do certain things. That's as deliberate as an out of bounds from Blight as you'll see. Joe, the promoting of it's nothing to do with that whatsoever. I could tell you the answer, but no one believes what I say anyway, so I'm not going to waste my breath. But that's not the reason. Not the reason. Yeah, I think McAuliffe's tank's definitely ahead of Smiley's. It's unlucky not to be a mark. Oh, go Rezzo. Oh, if that hits the ground. Oh, geez, we were swarming then. Gee, that's a good mark from that Hawks player there, 65. Shithouse kick, though. Good grab. Again, standing under a ball with players bearing down on you. Not nice. Not nice at all. Yeah, I think so too, Noah. I think it's just a little bit of him having to work into his body. Like, being 195 centimetres, playing at Coates League level was probably a lot easier to do than playing at VFL, AFL level. Like, the demands on the running side of things are far greater here than anything he'd be used to. And like you said, his key position size. So I tend to agree with you that I reckon this is just waiting for him to catch up to his body. Alga's going to get pinged here. That's unlucky. He just had no one to hand it to. "26 minutes gone. Still feel like we need one here just to snuff him out a little bit." West Coast up by 12. 37-25. Now, from memory, we're going to be better off if West Coast win, aren't we? I'm pretty sure, because we kind of want them to be above us, because if they lose Oscar Allen, then the compo pick won't impact us too much. So that's not the worst thing. That's not the worst thing. I still think because even though the tank argument, Craig, I guess is all about how many kilometres they can cover within the game. I know you can still sub them at 3/4 time, but if you're looking at both of them play now, I think you'd probably feel that McAuliffe covers the ground a bit better. He gets the contest quicker, gets around the ground a bit more than maybe what McAuliffe does. So I think, than what Smiley does. That's why I reckon McAuliffe's probably ahead of him. But I hated it last year when McAuliffe was sub, but I kind of feel like that's where he might start off. But I'd love to see him sooner rather than later. Jacob Bauer's down back now. Is he taking the kickouts too? 25 points. He just steps out of the goal square ever so slightly. Almost a bit of time wasting here. He is. He's just standing there. Interesting throwing Bauer behind the ball. Oh, Elgar nearly takes a nice strong mark. Flicks it up to himself. Smiley releases the handball. They are going after Smiley in a big way. Don't quite get why they're going after Smiley all the time. Anyway. Noel, for the love of God and all things holy, please play Sonzi in the midfield at AFL level. I know. Oh, he's hit the post. He's hit the post. That is a very lucky break. Need them to win and to beat North. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like West Coast winning is a good thing for us. Clinton Duff Tyler has more skill and better football than Hayes Brown or Kalina. I don't think he'll be physically mature enough to play before him. He might be more skilled, but he'll be far too light. And frame-wise, I don't think he'll be able to. Whereas Hayes Brown's got a couple of years on him size-wise, as does Kalina. I'm not at all saying that they will be better players, but I reckon that we would still have to source a ruckman externally until Duff Tyler caught up. Because he's only, how tall is he? He's only like 201, 202. I say only, that's still tall. And still probably taller than Nank, isn't it? I just think he won't be physically ready enough for when Nank retires. He'll get bullied. Like, could you imagine him up against a Max Gawn in a couple of years? He'll get crucified. And you don't want that to happen. Like, you want them to develop and grow at their own rate and make sure that they can physically compete. Like, unless he was played as a key forward, who maybe pinch hit would be one way to use him. But I don't think he could do number one ruck duties within his first couple of years. I don't think anyone would expect that. Like, I'm guessing he's a bit of a unicorn. I don't think he's quite a Nick Nat-Nui unicorn, if that makes sense. Who had a bit more size on him at the same age. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Yeah, Tim English took a few years to develop. And even now, he's still not... He's big, obviously bigger. But he was like a pencil, wasn't he, when he first got drafted by the Bulldogs? Yeah, Bauer going down back's interesting, just to see what he can do down there. Why not? We've got nothing else to lose, I suppose. Greystake, welcome back. Cody Angrove played together and didn't get drafted. Smiley trained with the Hawks before. Is that right? Before he's under 18 yet? I did not know that. There we go. Leo, how's Smiley going? Yeah, not doing a hell of a lot, to be totally honest. He's getting a lot of possessions, but they're often heavily contested. I was saying before that I'd love to see him get some more possessions out in space so we can use his kicking, but he's not really doing that. He's getting them more in and under. But speaking of the stats, Caleb Smith leading the way on 19 disposals. Tyler Sonzi was 17 and 3 clearances, 2 tackles. Tom McCarthy, 16 disposals and 2 clearances. Kaczynski, 16 disposals, 9 marks. He's had a really good game, Kaczynski, to be honest. Kane McAuliffe, 15 disposals, 1 goal, 9 tackles for Kane McAuliffe. If that's not putting your hand up, don't know what is. That's a great stat to see. 3 clearances for McAuliffe as well. Jacob Blight, 15 disposals, 5 marks. Juddy Clark, he got busy that quarter. 13 disposals for the game, 1 tackle, 1 clearance. Probably had a really good 3 or 4 minutes there, Juddy Clark. Hopefully we can see a bit more of that. However, I won't be shocked if we don't see much of him in the last quarter just based on minute management. Josh Smiley, 12 disposals, 3 tackles, 1 clearance. But again, a lot of them have been like contested handballs, blast kicks down the line at it from being tackled. Like, he hasn't really been able to get into space to utilise his skill. It's all been in close. So, and this is why I wouldn't mind seeing him even just thrown onto half-back and try and get a run that way to utilise his disposal. Sims, 8 disposals, 7 hitouts. Campbell Gray, 8 disposals, 5 marks. Force at 7 touches. Elgar 7 touches, but still kicked the 2 goals, 2 tackles as well. Bauer with 6 touches. Hayes Brown 4 touches. Clean is still the 1 disposal, so hasn't gotten near it much. Since the first quarter. Hoops, Max William. Yeah, I know that the Box Hill did really, really well that quarter to sort of stem the bleeding a bit. They've probably given themselves a bit of a sniff, to be honest. If they can get the first goal of the last quarter, they'll definitely have a bit of belief that they can potentially overrun us. Not overrun us, but catch up. Would have liked to have got a couple of late goals, but wasn't to be. We'll need a bit of a response. Melksham did a mantle. Oh, really? Just completely, not completely off topic, but Jake Melksham, really nice guy. I've dealt with him a little bit for work. Lovely guy, lovely guy. D's have come back and it's tied at 37 all. Is it raining over there? There's a lot of low-scoring games this week, isn't there? Leo Alga putting some pressure on the small forwards. Agree. I think he's been putting pressure on for a few weeks now, to be honest. I reckon he's had a really good 3 or 4 weeks. Let's scrap the Casey game because that was shit for everybody. But even in that game, he was probably one of our better players, to be truthful. But yeah, I think the question becomes, like, who can he dislodge from the side? Does he apply enough pressure? What's he done? Will this open up any other stats? Alga, where is he? So he's had 2 tackles. Does this have advanced stats? Contested possessions. Where do I see pressure acts? Why can't I see that? Does anyone know what the pressure acts are for Alga? Does it say it on your phone? I can't get it on the computer, which is annoying. They're still trying to teach Smiley to take it overhead at training. Could be a grower, not a shower. Yeah. Like I said, I can appreciate the contested work he's doing. It's tough going. Would love to see him on the outside and using his skill. He's a beautiful kick. Noah, something I noticed is Smiley is finding himself on the wrong side of the passage. He will be on the left and the play will pass right. Yeah, that's a bit unlucky, isn't it, when that happens? Telly P, I remember Uze clearly saying Smiley needs to earn his spot. I read that as he really needs to put in the work rate. Watching tonight, I was expecting more. I think a lot of us are expecting more as well. I think it's fair to also, we have to remember that he's still a kid too. Coming back from a pretty big layoff as well with the hamstring issue. And yeah, I still think he's growing into his body a little bit. But that's why, yeah, run him off half-back. Get him into some space. Let him kick the ball. Or half-forward. Get him a goal. Do something. Sally Smiley's way off. Will probably need a few more months. I still reckon he could be a sneaky chance for the West Coast game. Initially, I thought the North Melbourne game, which is that next week or is West Coast next week? No, West Coast next week. So maybe the North Melbourne game he could be a sneaky chance for. But he'd want to improve over the next couple of weeks to get that. I can't help but feel that there's still maybe been a game earmarked for him to, like a target for him to try and get to play. And just whether he ticks the boxes enough, like just enough to get a debut, I don't know. But yeah, you don't want to hand out games, I guess, do you? But at the same time, we're going to have this kid for 10, 15 years, whatever it might be. So there's definitely no rush. I think we all just want to see what we saw of him at the under 18 level, don't we? Last quarter about to start. The Tigers with a nice lead, 71-47. Would be great to get an early goal to settle the nerves a little bit and to steady the ship. See if we can time the clock. Ball is about to be bounced. Bang. I reckon that was okay. Sims in the ruck for the last quarter. Smiley hasn't got the ball. No free kick. Unlucky not to get a free there, Smiley. And it's probably his defensive running as well that people want to see a bit more of too. Oh, as Hawks get the first real meaningful entry with a mark inside 50. First shot at goal coming. Yeah, if they kick it, it definitely makes things a bit more interesting. This will make things real interesting if he can slot this one. Nah, no good. Behind. Good. We'll take that. Still, it's only 4 goals. It's not a hell of a lot.
catch the engagement party,
Bit of
mate.
Australiana. Saturday night, footy under lights at Franga with Kay Sanders blaring out on the speakers. That's perfect. Gets to the back. Mitchell. Sonsi.
Oh, Sonzi. Lovely little sidestep.
Can the Tigers find that early statement goal in this final term? They've been outstanding tonight. Kick smothered off the boot of Johnson.
We just can't get it past halfway at the moment.
Mitchell squares it.
Oh, good kick inboard.
To be bold and creative with their ball movement, more so than they were in the third term. Matt Hill does that.
Not rating Goldstein's commentary, Greystoke.
He's got Ramsden offering short.
I was surprised to see his name up there, to be honest.
Tigers have got numbers.
Surprised to see his name up there. But good on him for having a crack. Oh, got to spoil that. Oh, no.
It comes to Deer. He tries to get the bend. Just
Oh, just kicked another behind. Kelsha Deer. They're threatening the Hawks. They're threatening.
22 points the margin.
Need some composure.
Ball in the hands of Tom McCarthy.
Tom McCarthy, the man who may get looked at in the mid-season draft.
Now to Blight.
I'm getting like flashbacks to the game we had here last time that we lost.
High kick
I think it was against Frankston, wasn't it?
in direction.
Pretty sure.
In there as well. Alger turn disruptor. Lie at the back.
That's out of bounds.
Ryan
Yeah.
tried to tightrope
Throw it in,
the
thanks.
line, but stepped over and out.
Agree, James Racing. Time to lower the eyes and hit some targets.
Because from a Richmond perspective, you're sitting on a 22-point lead. You know you need to keep scoring.
That's it. It's only 22 points. So you got to keep playing.
One up right now.
You got to keep playing the same way you were with why you got to the lead. Don't play to defend the lead. Play to keep trying to score. Smiley with a nice tackle.
Control so far this quarter.
Yeah, the Frankston game. Yeah, that's right.
Trying to get it done from the midfield. Free
Oh,
flow.
God.
Deer couldn't haul it in with the one hand.
Out in the full.
Out of bounds on the full. He was almost pushed into the fence in the process.
I mean, it was optimistic trying to keep that one in with a kick, but
Tigers are walking a tightrope.
yeah, we did die in the second half, didn't we, Hoops? Yeah.
And they can sense Box Hill coming. On the other hand,
Box Hill are definitely throwing everything at us. Oh, good kick.
a huge turnaround in their fortunes
McAuliffe.
after the loss to Casey on Anzac Eve by 100.
Who was that to, though?
Mraz ran past it.
Jeez, that took a lucky bounce.
Might force it. There's so-
McAuliffe just missed everybody there with that kick.
at the moment told in both teams.
Yeah, you can definitely see the pressure's ratcheting up now. I think neither side.
This is where you want to see your Smileys and your McAuliffes and Sondies lift when there's pressure on in the game.
Pressure continues to build. It feels like
Oh, nice.
the goal is just going to set things
Speaking of
up one way or
Sonzi.
the other. Lie. Had to be quick. Bounces it to 50. Ryan attacks it. Does well. Scoots away from Alger. Well done. Sets up Stanley to run through the middle of the ground.
Jeez, they've just springboarded them.
A sit here.
Oh,
For Kelshadir.
Campbell Gray was caught well out of position there. Kelshadir takes a very easy mark.
Good direct ball movement. Deer now with the opportunity to kick his second and reduce the
Booming kick inside 50. But yeah, we need the leaders to stand up here. Yeah, Sims playing main ruck was interesting, wasn't it? I would have expected a Hayes Brown or Kalina to start ruck in the last quarter. Oh, that's a let off. Kelshadir missing.
missed opportunity again.
Let off the hook. They don't do subs in the VFL, do they?
Hawks, Ben Kavara done for the day. Mate Colina also done with knee soreness.
Oh, there you go. They just said Kalina's done with knee soreness.
Emergencies for tomorrow. Tyler Sonsi in particular might be on some limited game time in terms of.
And Tyler Sonzi, again, could be on limited game time because of the game tomorrow.
Thanks, Macca. Sonsi, Bauer, and Gray, the three named emergencies.
Yeah, Sonzi, Bauer, and Gray are the three emergencies.
Game tomorrow against.
Gee, it must be tough being a VFL coach
See that game.
when you're in games and the pressure's mounting, opposition teams are starting to come hard at you, and you've got to then rest and take off your better players because they're carryover.
Their cover. Wilson. Easy take for Ryan, who's had a busy final quarter. Their best.
Oh, God, that was a dangerous kick from the Hawks, but it paid off.
Mitchell back to Arundel, who's been put behind the ball to generate some run in the second half.
Yeah, they've gone to their shells, haven't they, Hoops?
Tall in front. Bianco.
Yeah, Greystoke Elgers reading the as elite. Defensive pressure ain't great. As Massimo Razzo just soccers one forward.
Ground. Foot
It's now a foot race. Sam Frost leading the way.
first back.
Not the best use of the football, Sam Frost.
Back. Fist from Bauer.
Oh, Bauer did get the fist in there, but Hawks could clean up. Oh, they are out as well on the wing.
He's had 2 bounces in 6 steps. Chips over the head of Hill.
Miss kick, Kaczynski, well played.
Kaczynski. Wilson.
McAuliffe through the middle of the ground. Gets it inside 50.
Sonsi.
Elga, you got to chase the bloke. He's probably knackered, but
Simply out of breath.
yeah, I reckon Elga's gassed.
Possession together right now. The fatigue's kicking in. And
Oh no, he's overrun it. They got 2 Box Hill players out the back. Yeah, no, because he's playing really well. I agree. He's leaving his man well, attacking the ball well.
goes himself. He does go himself.
Oh, another massive let off.
They've completely lost their forward structure, so when they do go forward, there's nothing to kick it to at the moment.
Yeah, there's just no one up forward to kick it to. Oh gosh, that was a terrible kick from Gray, but Juddy Clark picks it up and bounds out of defence. Bad handball though.
Bodie Ryan coming the other way. Beat Garner for it. And then hits up Anderson on 50. We'll see Cody's range from here. Can he go back with a bit of inspiration and bang a long goal home?
We are struggling massively here. Watch out for the short kick inside 50.
5-1 in his, or 6-1 now in his VFL career. From 52.
That'll fall short.
Swinging back to the square. Who's down? Slapped away from Gray. Did well to control that under pressure.
Well done, great. Clark works it out.
Now to Caleb Smith. He just takes some territory.
Oh, Bauer looking for body, so they're going for the ball.
It's still there for
Oh, he ducked his head too.
Takes advantage.
Oh no!
Numbers fold back for the Tigers. They left.
Oh my gosh. What was that shit defending? That gives me PTSD of the Brisbane final when everyone just watched the ball in the goal square and no one punched it. How did 4 people miss that? No one tried to mark that or touch it, punch it, do anything. That is terrible defending. My goodness. Greystoke, I need to get Sportsbet and cash out of this game right now. Show the replay of that, please. That was horrible.
Kyder Clace gifted one on the Chemist Warehouse replay. He's
Or maybe who was in the goal square?
Goldstein. Richmond are like the marathon runner.
Oh god.
Really hard.
Sims just didn't put his hands in the air.
They keep covering the pavement, but the stadium isn't.
What were they doing?
Yes, and I think you can see they're just going to their shells now, and you know, they've been so short-handed in defence.
They're absolutely going into their shells now.
Bit of fatigue, bit of pressure, and suddenly started to sink.
Sims in the ruck.
credited to Bodie Ryan to close.
We desperately need a settling goal.
Here comes Anderson.
And the Hawks are going inside 50 again.
Tigers need a goal here. El Noor run down by Butler. 2 or 3 times tonight with
We've just lost our way in the midfield, haven't we?
that steadying goal. 1 might be enough for them. It's 14 points at the moment. El Noor
Don't give away the free.
quarter taken down. Hill will look away, then the give to DeClace.
Oh, he's fed the handball through.
Advantage back to Hill. Keeps the ball moving to the pocket. Stanley up against the post. Flips it back. Well done, Gray.
Jesus.
Composure. Off the hands of the contest from 4.
Ball it up.
And a number of those
God, tell you what, Box Hill did well to keep that in.
Todd that were everywhere in the first half have disappeared in the second as fatigue's kicked in.
Absolutely. Those
We almost look out in our feet here, don't we?
half at least being able to be crumbed, whereas now it's
Oh, another turnover.
Another opportunity here for Mraz. He's called to
Play
go.
on. Go at him. Go at him.
Can he find something inside 50? Pokes it towards the pocket. This might be
Oh, gosh.
the first gamer. Max Donoghue.
First gamer. No help over the back there.
And now the biggest moment of his evening so far, and therefore he
They have had plenty of chances this quarter as well.
touches. Chance to kick his first.
Jeez. Would like to have seen Gray impact that contest a little bit better there.
Here comes the 19-year-old from Leongatha. Max Donoghue steps up. Puts it across the face.
Lucky again.
Minor score. 13 points the margin.
James, you're not confident? You reckon we're getting done here? Caleb Smith on kick-out duties. Come on, we got to find targets here.
Smith almost taking on the Adelaide Crows Power Ranger stance of days gone by. Blight, Horner.
We're just not taking the game on anymore, are we? Whether that's like players aren't getting into space, the tide, of a mix of everything. Oh, go!
They forgot about George.
That was lucky that he was over the back there for that one.
George called to go. Where are the talls with the contest? Sims amongst them. Arundel casually back.
Geez, that had a bit of hang time going across the face of goal. It's done well there.
Gives it to Ryan.
That's it, Grayso. This is where you can make a name for yourself when the heat's on in the game. If you can stand up and be a difference.
Durden. Length of the square. Tigers in flight. Hawks at ground level.
Oh, we've given away a free.
Has it in him too. And knows
Oh, that's a big kick. Good spoil.
fists from George.
That's a great spoil.
Tests. It feels like there's been more to this final quarter than Box Hill's one.
You would have to say at the moment that it's our the VFL listed players are the ones that are standing up more than the AFL listed players, which is a little bit concerning.
Really hard for Richmond to gain.
You kind of need it to be the other way around.
Since half time. Reeves.
Oh my gosh.
They've got another. 7-point game.
7 points in it. Holy shit. Another tight contest. They're going to have bad thoughts from that Frankston game. But I think Sonsy's been off the ground for a bit. I think Gray was still out there. But yeah, Box Hill have got their tails up. They are getting on a real big run at the moment.
Yeah, on the Chemist Warehouse replay, I think it was just tear to my eyes.
I'm not sure why we're persisting with Sims in the ruck at the moment because he's getting beaten quite comfortably in the ruck.
Up in this second half.
I know Clean is off, but Hayes Brown, where's he at? What's he doing? Sims in for the centre bounce again. Last 10 scores, yeah, all Box Hill. Shit.
Points since half time. The build up of mental lactic thickens again for Richmond. Anderson going to work. He was being
Oh, another free to Box Hill. They are crumbling.
You just see the yellow and black folding back to guard grass rather than a player. Advantage to Ethan Stanley.
Another inside 50 for Box Hill. Duddy Clark. Good handball.
Clearing ball. McCall.
No one to kick it to, though.
What can Fawcett find? He can't get Mraz to Bianco to Durden. The Hawks
We're just panicking, aren't we? We're just not prepared to actually hit some targets.
flank. Shift things to Frost. And having moved the Richmond defence, they might go back through the original laneway. Arundel
Find a man, lads. Find a man.
getting more of it.
Long time to go as well. It's only 15 minutes gone.
Durden to Horner. Al-Noor needs to get
Good spoil. Oh, that's a good handball forward, though.
possession, but it's worth so many. Gets it off to Hill to make it a 1-point game. He'll make it a 1-kick game.
Do they pay a free kick then, though, an advantage?
Solid hit here. Cal Porter wore one from Jacob Kazitsky.
Did they pay a free kick for that because he hit? Surely not.
Game. Richmond have lost all structure ahead of the football. They've just been bombing it, Todd. They get it to half-back and just get it out of there. But it's
Where stand up, leaders. Stand up. McCall, you're probably one of them, even though you're still young.
On Box Hill, and they're just able to put it wherever they want.
Fawcett got a hand to it. Here's Sims. This is where they need a mark. Just forward in the
Oh,
centre.
go.
Trying to hang on to it. There you go. That's what
50.
they needed. El just got it.
Oh, he's cramping. He can't even go quick.
Now at least they can set something up in the front half and at very least try and build a wall behind it to pin it down there into the
Where's Smiley? Get Smiley down there. Take a big mark.
until they can get a shot. There's Razzo at the top.
Oh, what is that kick?
Kick was a strange one. Had cramp. Not sure if that affected the kick. Another Richmond player's gone down with cramp in the foreground, as you can see. Right there.
Who's got a free kick? Yeah, we've got people cramping up everywhere. Sims cramping. Elga cramping. Has someone got a free kick somewhere along the line? Who's got it?
Proximity to where the ball was, or no, it's a free kick to Richmond.
Is that McAuliffe? He's too far out, surely.
Opportunity.
This will take a monster kick if he can get it from here.
He's kicked one tonight. Biggest kick of the night so far.
Feels it might be a bit beyond him.
Out to a 2-goal lead and just let
Oh, he's hit that all right. Jeez, that's going.
early from 55.
Oh, McAuliffe. What a goal. That is a huge roost. Jeez, I didn't think he had that in him at all. Late in the game, that is a monster kick. Stand up and take the pressure. That's huge. Super Kano. Eric, I did ask him to stand up and he does just that. What other messages can we send out there? That's a great kick. Yeah, Skadoosh, you're putting your hand up massively if you're kicking goals like that. And as I said before, let's actually refresh the stats here. Because he did have, at three-quarter time, he was on 9 tackles. I'm not sure if he's any higher now. So Kane McAuliffe is on 21 disposals, 6 marks, 11 tackles, 3 clearances, 2 goals. I mean, that's some pretty good stats, I reckon. I know stats aren't the be-all and end-all, but geez, if you're wanting to put your hand up to play senior footy and you're a senior player tomorrow, you'd want to be putting in a pretty good effort defensively, I would have thought. And we've got Hayes Brown back on the ground, thank God, to do some ruck work. Now we need Smiley to get involved here too. Show your wares, young man. Good tackle. Bit of a spark here for the Tigers now. Smiley gets the kick forward. There we go. There we go. I've got another one up and about. Bauer slides in like he's playing soccer. Hasn't got it, Elga. Tackle. Oh, Razzo. Jeez. Good Smith. Bauer just taking his time to stand up. Oh, the tap. Come on. Good mark. The big tap takes a good grab. How slow was Jacob Bauer to get up off the ground just to kick that one in there? Just took his sweet time, but he got there eventually. Big kick here for Liam Fawcett. 7 disposals, 1 tackle, no score yet. Good strong mark inside 50 for the last quarter. This would be huge in the context of the game, dare I say. Oh, just faded the other way. It looked like it was shaping in okay, and then it just drifted out. Oh, the important point. We love it. We love it. 11 tackles is huge, Jones Racing. And Noah, I'm with you, mate. I would hate to lose Kane McAuliffe opportunity elsewhere. We've got to find a way to get him in. Oh, great mark. They've got some energy now. They've got some energy. Garner out to Caleb Smith. Showing some urgency. Oh, Jesus. Garner inside 50. We've got some numbers. Jasper! Hey, Jasper Elga. Come on. You see, he plays tall. I'm telling you. He plays taller than what he is. Jeez, he reads it well. He's the youngest kid in the competition too. The youngest kid. Already kicked 2 goals. I like that he's going back for a drop punt here and not trying to kick around the body. This would be huge if he can get it. Jasper strolls in. Oh, the wind's brought it back in. Come on. That was shithouse off the boot. That was an absolute horrible helicopter kick. And it's floated in. Wow. Great goal, Jasper Elga. Well done. See, like, things like that. To see that type of mark and composure to kick the goal when the pressure's on, that's awesome. That's really, really good to see. Exactly right, Jones Rossi. He's basically a bottom major. Exactly right. Like, he turned 18 very late in December. And Melanie, you're right. Alga putting this pressure on the small forwards is exactly what we need. Like, they need to know they've got to perform on a week-to-week basis, or else this guy is ready to take their spot, and has put forward a massive case to do so. Like, the capacity, the mental capacity to be composed enough to take that mark, kick that goal, huge. Wasn't a pretty kick, but it got there. Your turn now, Smiley. Come on. Well, there we go. Smiley with a good forward handball. Oh, jeez. He just kept running through the tackles. Good spoil. Good tackle. Well done, Campbell Gray. Good follow-up tackle. And he gets holding the ball too. No, 100% agrees with a comment, put Smiley at half-back. He's feeling the pressure to dominate clearance. Yeah, I think so too. It's, look, like I said, it's great to see winning the contested footy. He's working really hard at the contest, at the source to get it out with forward handballs and whatever. But I want to see him be able to utilise his actual weapon, which is his kicking game. That was always his strength in his underage year. So let's actually see him use that to our advantage, I reckon. Let's Hawthorn make it forward. Oh, gosh. Pack flies. Nice. Get out of there. Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds. Big leap in goal from Alga 2 minutes after cramping. He does, Chris. He absolutely competes with some grit. You love seeing him stand up in moments like that. Like, it would have been easy for him to have gone off and got some treatment on the cramp. But just to stay out there, get rid of the cramp, and then take that mark, kick that goal, it's huge.
Stick around for that straight after the final siren here tonight. We've hit 23 and a half minutes.
Oh, McAuliffe just boots off the ground.
George has shown some great leadership in this last.
Good pick up, Fawcett. Got to find someone now. Oh, it's a mung. That's work though. Razzo, clean pick up. Go. Garner. Oh, Garner probably could have put it into the goal square.
Damage might already be done from a Richmond perspective.
Yeah, the McAuliffe goal definitely breathed life into him. No, absolutely. Absolutely. 20-point lead. What do we say? 5 minutes to go, maybe? Oh, Hayes Brown, you've got to hold that. Jesus Christ. That's a bad drop. Elnor, good pressure. Oh, he's got through though. Just needed to stick one of those tackles. Good. Oh, Cozzy, unlucky. Oh, Campbell Gray, well done. Great follow-up. He's dropped the ball. That's holding the ball. So is that from Caleb Smith. Great tackling. Well done, and hit came McAuliffe. That was good pressure there from Campbell Gray in particular to spoil and then have a second-up effort to lay the tackle. Really good. Smiley working the space here if Elnor can see him on the inside. There's Smiley. Oh, he got to the outside. Go! He's cooked. Yeah, Eric, I really think Gray is above the level. Good kick. See, got some distance on it.
Force it from the back. There's a hold. It's going the way of the Hawks.
Yeah, like I said before, Campbell Gray didn't do a lot wrong in his AFL game. He only had the 5 disposals, but he looked composed, made right decisions, and it's just a bit of an unlucky set of circumstances with Bolter coming back in, which is 100% the right call. Like I said, I kind of feel like we could have maybe played Gray still and maybe dropped a Steely Green or something if they wanted to try and equalise the Hawks' tall defenders. But we'll see him again sometime soon, I think. Campbell Gray. Good spoil. He hasn't got that. Oh, Smiley with another inside 50. Sits it up to the hot spot. That's a push from Bauer. No, okay, we'll take the mark. We'll take the mark. I reckon that was a shove. But anyway. I reckon that's as clear as a push as that you could possibly see there from young Bauer. Not a big day for him in terms of numbers, 7 disposals, but it'll be nice for him to finish off with a goal and to really seal the win. 20-point lead as it stands right now. Jacob Bauer strolls in and puts it home. Well done, Jacob. That should be enough to cement the win. Yeah, Smiley's had an okay quarter. She's gotten in some good space. Had a couple of good inside 50s there. He looks gassed, it must be said, but he's had a good quarter. I think Campbell Gray's been the man of the quarter, to be honest, and probably McAuliffe as well. McAuliffe kickstarted it with that goal, but Campbell Gray has been very, very good this quarter in the back line. Like, taking some super risk, made some great spoils, and the second efforts to tackle and get hold of the balls has been sensational. Rational Roman, welcome. Jasper looks a very clever footballer. Absolutely he is. Most definitely he's got great footy IQ, Jasper. Smiley working hard and teammates are not using him. It's a fair call, Hoops. He's still on the ground, so it's good to see Smiley still out there, just from a time on ground perspective. K. McAuliffe. It's tackle. Oh, holding the ball. Okay. No, that's going to miss. Yeah, it's a good point, Noah. And I think that applies to a lot of our kids, where you say that even though he's not dominated for Sims, he's not dropping his head. And I think that's the same for Lawler and Trainer as well. Like, even when they make mistakes at whatever level, they're not going back into their shell. Like, they're still pushing forward and trying, which I think is a really good thing. D's are 29 points ahead at three-quarter time. Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated. As Campbell Gray takes another mark. He must be up to a fair few marks now, old Campbell Gray. No, is that right? Only 5 marks. I thought he was on more than that. Caleb Smith's taken 10 marks and 30 disposals. That's a pretty decent game. I know he's taken a few kickouts as well. Or does K. McAuliffe get into my AFL 26 midfield? Oh, we'd have to give him a run. Worst case, off the bench. We have to give him a run, though. There's the siren. The Tigers get up. 14-7, 91 to 9-12, 66. Box Hill's first loss. I did not know that. Did not know that. That's a good of an answer as you can hope for after that shithouse effort last week against Casey. 25-point win against a side that was undefeated. You can't ask for a better response than that. And they threw the kitchen sink at us at the last quarter. So to get up over the line there, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Let's take a look at the disposal winners quickly. Caleb Smith, 31 disposals, 10 marks, 2 tackles. That's a really good game from Caleb Smith. Kane McAuliffe, 23 disposals, 7 marks, 11 tackles, 4 clearances, and 2 goals? 2 goals for Kane McAuliffe. That's a really good outing for him. That's putting your name up to play senior football right there. Tom McCarthy, 22 disposals, 3 tackles, 2 clearances. Definitely putting his name up for mid-season draft territory. Tyler Sonzi, 19 disposals. He was probably off for a little bit of that last quarter, being a carryover player as well. 19 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 3 clearances. Jacob Blight, 18 touches, 7 marks. Kaczynski, I thought Kozzy had a really, really good game. 17 possessions, 10 marks. Really impressive. It was more to do with his ability to come off his man and actually impact the contest several times. He made some really brave decisions, and they all paid off, so well done to him. Smiley, 16 disposals, 4 tackles, 2 clearances. I still reckon I want to see him do a bit more half-back work, I reckon. I just think there's maybe something in that to see what his run's like behind the ball and get him to use his foot skills a bit more. Juddy Clark, 16 disposals, 2 marks, 1 tackle, 1 clearance. He had a really prolific third quarter. He got really busy, so that was good to see. Campbell Gray, 12 disposals, 6 marks. I thought he was the best player of the last quarter. Really good. 4 tackles as well. I thought he was pretty instrumental, to be honest. Razzo, 5 disposals, 3 goals. I mean, look, he's going to be that type of player, isn't he? He's not going to get a lot of the ball, but when he does, he makes it count. So that was good for him. Sims, 9 disposals, 3 tackles, 7 hitouts. Look, he fought hard in the last quarter in Ruck Sims, but you can tell he's definitely a long way off being a main ruckman, but it's good exposure for him nonetheless. Fawcett, 9 disposals, 2 marks, a tackle. Jasper Elgar, 9 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 1 clearance, 3 goals for Jasper. That's a really good game from Jasper. Look, people might argue you want to see him get 15, 16, 17 disposals, but I'm not sure whether he's going to be that type of player. He just seems to be that really impactful type player that makes the most of his chances. So 3 goals is a great return, including a very nice contested mark and goal to really help seal the game. Jacob Bauer, 8 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, and that final goal to seal the deal. Hayes Brown, 2 goals, 4 disposals. So that's not a bad ratio. 8 hitouts. And Kalina, who went off with knee soreness, just had the 1 disposal. Didn't trouble the scorers all that much, old Kalina. What did you all think of the game? What are some of your highlights, lowlights? What is everyone thinking? Rational Roman, the 24 draft class looks to be special. I tell you what, a lot of them are going to go okay, aren't they? A lot of them are going to go okay. James Racing, yeah, 7 contested possessions for Jasper. That's good. Lettuce, how's it going? It's good. Such competition now to get in the AFL team. Exactly. Glenn, nice steady by the Tigs. Absolutely. Greystoke, only McAuliffe and Grey AFL standard for now. Elga's close, I reckon. I reckon he's really close. But to your point, if we're actually picking 2, you're right. Gray will be back into the AFL before we know it, I think. He looks really good at the level and was good again tonight. And again, I want to give Cozzy a big pat on the back too. I thought he was super. I thought he was really good. Paul, surely McAuliffe gets a game, 11 tackles, massive. Credit to Cozzy. Would love to see Elgar get a game too. Deserves one. Good call, Paul. I mean, there's not much more McAuliffe can do, right? I suppose the question becomes, I know we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow yet, but if McAuliffe comes in, who's it for? It's not going to be for Taranto or Hopper. They're locked in. So it comes down to Thompson Dow, who's in career best form, when defensively as good as what McAuliffe is going. Jack Ross is probably the one that's on the chopping block, who maybe doesn't do as much defensively, maybe offers a little bit more offensively. But if I'm picking one that he's going to take over, I reckon I would swap McAuliffe for Ross based on current form. So the pressure's on Ross tomorrow to have a really good game, to be honest. Otherwise, he could find himself swapped out. Is that a fair call, or would it be someone else? Let us know what you think. Jones Racing, Labour wins in a landslide. Jesus, 77-32. God damn. That's huge. Greystoke Bachelor for Coach of the Year. Gee, you've gone early. I don't mind it. You've gone early, but I like it. I like the early calls. Eric Elgar McAuliffe in next week if tomorrow's performance dictates it. So for Elgar to get in, he's relying on Steely, Morris, Seth Campbell or Ryan Mansell to have a stinker. The thing is, I don't think that Seth Campbell and Mansell will be dropped almost under any circumstance, as bad as that might sound. So I reckon he's trying to take Steely Green's spot, is who I would be thinking he's taking. So we'll see how he goes there. McAuliffe at Camden. Well, it's not a bad call, Eric. I guess it depends. It depends on if we think that Camden can do a tagging role for us in any given week. Like we said before, if Camden's not tagging in an AFL game, if he's not tagging the best midfielder, then I would prefer that spot go to a McAuliffe. If he's tagging someone, fair play. I think it's a great role for Camden to do because I don't want one of the kids to do it. So it really depends on how we plan on using him. And I don't think we're using him as a tagger tomorrow, quietly. But yeah, I can see why we would swap out McAuliffe for Camden, but it just depends on... So who we got next week? West Coast. I mean, do you want him to tag a Harley Reid or a Tim Kelly if he's playing? I don't know. Or do you just go head-to-head and chuck McAuliffe in? It could happen. It's a good point. It could happen. Elgar looks like he's 12. That's because he almost is. Like I said, he's the youngest player in the competition, I think. He was, 18 very late in December, so he is very, very young. And that's why, for me, he's so impressive, because you could excuse him for showing a bit more immaturity and lack the physicality or the footy smarts to go in and do what he's doing. But for such a legitimate young kid to do that is really impressive. And again, I refer back to Caesar from Punt Road End, who after a training session said that he can't not see Elgar not making it. Like, he's just got AFL quality written all over him, and I wholeheartedly agree. That puts us top 4 tonight. Very nice. Very nice. And to give Box Hill their first loss, even better. What's the Pies and Cats game score there, Super? What do we got? Melanie, does K-Mac need a rest? Look, I wouldn't think so. They've just had a 9-day break. And I guess when it comes to these more senior experienced players, they're match hardened, they're body hardened. They're used to the rigors of AFL football and the shorter turnarounds, the travelling and shit like that. So I would probably be less inclined to think he needs a break. But if he were to need a break, then McAuliffe's ready to go. So it's there and it's an option. 71 apiece. Is there anyone that we would rather win that out of Collingwood and Geelong? Is there anyone that's more beneficial than the other? Probably not that I can think of off the top of my head, other than our own footy tipping. And with the D's getting the job done still, I'm guessing. That's a bit of a shame. It would have been nice for West Coast to have won that, to try and get them to jump above us so that their compo pick doesn't hurt us too much. The team was hungover last week? Maybe. No, look, last week was terrible. Very, very bad game. And it's a really, really good turnaround, honestly, that game tonight compared to what they put up last week. You can often not see good turnarounds like that. It can sometimes take a little bit to get back to form. So to see that happen it's good. It's a good sign. Batchelor, obviously, whatever he said during the week, he got the message across and they come out and delivered, which is good to see. How long's left in the Collingwood and Cats game? I can probably look at that myself, can't I? We got AFL app. What do we got here? Lead by 1 point. How long left though? Fourth quarter. I might pop that on. If people want to hang around and can talk about that game, let me open up my other browser. Oops. Let's watch the rest of that. We might see some heartbreak. Collingwood and Geelong. Yeah, okay, so 72-71. 10 minutes 38 to go. The Pies are up. Melbourne winning by 40 points. They're doing well now then. West Coast North, way behind the Tigers. Do you reckon? So that's a good question, Skoosh. If you're looking at development and progress, bright lights for the future and shit like that, how would you rank what we're showing up against what North Melbourne and West Coast are showing? It seems like from the outside that even North Melbourne and West Coast supporters, I think they think that we're ahead, which is really awesome to hear for us, not so much for them. I don't want to get ahead of myself and I don't want to give myself false hope, but I feel like that we show a bit more on a weekly basis and we're substantially more inexperienced than what they are and further back in our rebuild than what they are. So I think it's a really good sign for us that we're taking the right steps. Like every opposition supporter I speak to, whether it's at work or whatever, they're always very complimentary of the way we fight games out and we're not just rolling over most of the time or anything like that. So that's good. Greystoke, 140-point turnaround against undefeated side. Unleash the Geesh territory. I love it. It's a good turnaround. It's a good call. Don't argue. Do you think you'll take a capture card into Big Ant to get some better quality footage? I'll absolutely be taking a hard drive in with me, to Big Ant. So basically the game's just recorded like how I would record it on OBS. And then, I just get the file and take it home and edit. You guys know, I don't do a hell of a lot of editing. I just pretty much drop it in and add a bit of an intro and make sure if there's any dead spots, I'll eliminate those. But other than that, I don't touch up any of my videos. So whenever you see an AFL 26 gameplay video of any nature, know that I've not touched that up in any way, shape or form. Whatever you see is whatever I saw. I just simply don't have the time or the skill to do that, to be honest. So I'm hoping to do a bit of a piece on a footy being scanned as well for work. So I'll see how that goes too. Carlton to die, Dabo. Yeah, they're a bit of a bad place, aren't they, the Blues? Their season could be almost killed off next week, couldn't they? Is Harley Reid not playing good again? What's his stats like? I haven't had a look at the stats. What's he doing? Yeah, Hoops, I think we've done the rebuild right as well. I mean, it's pretty unprecedented to get 8 draft picks in the 1 year. So it's a nice luxury that we ended up getting through a whole wide range of circumstances. But you still got to nail the picks as well, don't you? Like they don't just fall in your lap. You still got to make the right calls, and I think we're very lucky that we've got a lot of good people in the right places to make those decisions, which is good. Nah, no filters here. No filters here. Can the managed week plays 200th in Dreamtime and celebrate the headband on the big stage, Eric. I love it. I love it. I love that the headband's become iconic and it's only been in use for 1 year. I fully expect at his 200th game that we'll see a shitload of people in the crowd with headbands on. 9 disposals for Harley Reid. See, like when I see things like that, then I feel like my comments the other week were justified. How's Holmes going? I need Holmes to have a big game here for Supercoach purposes. Let's check my Supercoach. Oh, he's only on 72. His expected score is 101. So unless he does some big things here, I'm not sure I'll hit that, to be honest. Do I have anyone in the other games? How unlucky is this? So I'm in Supercoach draft. We have 15 players in our team. There's 10 sides. I had bloody Shea Bolton on the field, and he scored 5, would you believe? 5 points in an entire game of football in Supercoach. Absolutely stitched me up massively there. Not happy. Not happy at all. Harley Reid is on 23 Supercoach points. I know Supercoach isn't the be-all, end-all of football. Max gone 166 if you've got him in a team. And this is my thing, Hoops, and this is why I made the post I did about I'm almost now in the no camp for Harley Reid. I'm in the no camp if it's for 3 first-rounders, and if he keeps putting up games like that, it's hard to be in the yes camp for 2 first-rounders. Like, it doesn't seem worth it. Like, I know it's all potential-based. We know he can be a good player. We know he had a good year last year and all that kind of stuff, but I can't help but compare him to, and I've said this before, but I can't help but compare him to Dan Rioli for us, who knew he was going what feels like a long way out last year for us. And he puts in a best and fairest year. Like, that's the kind of response I want to see from a player if I'm going to be coughing up 2 picks for him. Like, that's a good answer. Oh, Max Holmes, good disposal. Hit a target, son. Geelong going forward, they need a mark here. Oh, Dempsey. Just got the better of Maidnard there. He's come along all right too, Dempsey. Hoops has got Jeremy and Danger in your team, both low scoring. Yeah, it's so frustrating when you get players who are low scoring. This is to put the Cats back in front. Or Rushnell, you reckon Sammy Law will be a better footballer than Reid? I mean, hopefully, as Dempsey scores, if he just shows if he just applies himself and has a good attitude the whole time, I think he'll hold himself in good stead. No worries, Grace. So, all good. Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. If you haven't yet subscribed, guys, it'd mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on PC, there should be a YouTube badge on the bottom right side of the screen. You can click on to subscribe. We're closing in on 2,700, on the way to 3,000 subs, which would be massive. We appreciate all the love and support. Blight and 1 pick for Reid. I mean, you'd love to try and offer that, wouldn't you? I dare say West Coast would knock that on the head, though. They'll be wanting 2 picks. But the Blight's an interesting one because I think that definitely adds value for West Coast because they need to replace Barras. So I think in a lot of ways it's a need as well that could help us. Go Holmes, hit a target. Selfishly, does bounces count for Supercoach for me? Oh, he's check side 1 in. Oh, he's hit a target though, inside 50. That's good. That's good points. That's good points. Well done. Maynard lipping up again. Dabo, you reckon that Reid's law is dropping? That Reid's value is dropping? But then, like last week, he has a shit first half, a really good second half, and then if you look at the stats in total, it looks like a really good game. But he only played 2 good quarters. Like, if he could just apply himself for the full 4 quarters, he'd be shooting the lights out and demanding big picks and big currency. Because he's actually, not only is he dropping the value for his trade value, he's actually dropping his own value of what a club might offer him contract-wise because the performances aren't warranting the big price tag, are they? Like, you can't expect to get an $800 to $1 million contract a year based on hope. Like, that would be madness. There's Dangerfield goals and the Cats kick ahead. Cats kick ahead. Surely Max Ames has crept up here. Oh, wrong game. Oh, he's up to 81. Ollie Dempsey on 101. Jesus. It's impressive. Rational, have I seen? I haven't seen Dill's video. No, I need to go and watch that. Basically said no Sammy in this draft. Also said Sammy has all the tools required to become a great footballer. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely got the tools to become a great footballer. And I was saying before that I was watching a heap of draft videos the other day. I was going to do a draft video on who players we should take, but I'm just not really hit with that wow factor. But I'm looking for an outside midfielder. So there's good players in there that play a different role, like a Duff Tytler. Sharp's a good inside midfielder and things like that. But for the player type that I'm looking for us, it's pretty much Grill and maybe Lindsay, but even he's more of a half-back, I guess. So, yeah, it seems a bit of a weaker draft than last year, that's for sure. Yeah, his attitude's a bit stinky, isn't it, Paul? That's my big thing too. His attitude's a little bit stinky. Yeah, Sam Grill, he does seem... Oh, step out of the square here, Holmes. Good boy. Well done. Hit a target now. Yeah, nice. Oh, Jesus, dangerously plucked that from nowhere. All right, my voice is cooked. I'm going to jump off. Yeah, Grill is explosive. I like the look of him. I think he'll be definitely on our radar, I reckon. Oh, good spoil. But yeah, that's going to be a wrap for me. Thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. I appreciate all the love and support. Like I said, make sure, if you want to see the Louis Kellaway highlights, make sure you jump on the YouTube channel, check him out. He was best on ground the other day for Sturt. The last thing I'll check, I'll just recheck to see if the scores have updated for the Scotch versus Geelong game, because we had two players in there. No, still pending. That's a bit annoying. Still no score update. But anyway, catch you all later. Enjoy the game tomorrow. If you're going, I'll be there. If you see me, feel free to say hi. I'll be sitting in the Hawks cheer squad area, believe it or not. I'll be the only one with a Richmond jumper on, I'm assuming. But yeah, hopefully it's a good game. Would love to see us play really well for another couple of quarters. And who knows, if we be a little bit unsociable, bring our pressure game, bring our running game, stranger things have happened. But I think we might be a little bit up against it tomorrow, but we'll definitely give it a crack and see how we go. But thanks for jumping on tonight for the VFL. Good to see the boys get a nice win against Box Hill. And yeah, potentially we might do fan cam or something like that tomorrow night, possibly, depending on if times and everything align. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday night for the live weekly show. So have a good night and a good weekend, everybody, and I'll see you all later.